Do we have anyone who have any question? Maybe while trying what we did last week, you understand there are differences. There are differences from my end.
You have anyone who
Do you
have
have
any
anyone who have
question?
any question?
Is there any
Is there
question?
any question?
Before I continue,
Before I
is there any
continue, is there
question?
any question?
Again, let
Again,
me just give a
let me
grace
just
of
give a
maybe
grace of
two
maybe
minutes.
two
If there's
minutes.
any
If there's
question,
any
so you
question,
can just use
so you
the
can
chat
just use
box
the
or
chat box or
unmute your mic
unmute
and
your
talk,
mic and
so
talk,
I can
so
address
I
it
can
before
address it
continuing.
before continuing.
This is 11
It
or
is
8.
11:08.
Okay.
Okay.
So while I wait
So
for
while I wait
questions,
for
let me just try
questions,
and
let me just
present
try
the
and
entire
present my
screen.
entire screen.
So last week, as
So
we've
last week, as we've
save our
save our
dashboard,
day dashboard,
you can just
we
open
can
it
just open it
so we can be on
so
the
we
same
can be on the
page.
same page.
So last week I
So
talked
last week
about
I talked
us
about
getting
us getting
icon, and
icon,
I talked about
and I talk about
loading
loading
our data
our data
into data
into
model
data model as a data
not
model,
into
not
our
into
Excel
our
sheet.
Excel sheet.
Because what
Because what
most are used to
most are
is
used to
loading
is
our
loading our
data into
data
Excel
into
sheet
Excel
when we
sheet
connect
when
to
we connect to
Power Query.
Power Query.
And what that
And
does
what
is that
that
it
does is
creates
that it creates
limitations. It
limitations.
reduces
It
the
reduces the
numbers of
numbers of
datas we
data
can have on our
we can have on our
spreadsheet.
spreadsheet.
But when we
But when
connect
we
to a
connect
data
to a
model, we
data
have
model,
access
we have
to
access to
larger set of
larger
data.
set of data.
And in
And
the
in the
modern world where we
modern
find
world where
ourselves,
we find ourselves,
most organizations
most
that are going to
organizations that are
employ
going to
you
employ
are
you are
collecting data
collecting data
every seconds,
every
not even
seconds, not
every day.
even every day.
Most collect every
Most collect
seconds when
every
we talk
seconds.
about
When we talk about
telecommunication company
telecommunication
like
company
Airtel,
like Airtel,
MTN. They
MTN,
have
they
record
have
related to
record related to
calls,
calls,
datas, how people
datas,
are
how people
subscribing.
are
We have a
subscribing.
lot
You
of
know, we have a lot
Airtel's
of
users.
Airtel's
You
users.
might find
You
yourself in
might
their
find yourself in
data
their data
as the data
as the
analyst
data
in their
analyst
data
in their data
department. You will
department.
observe that
You
these
will
people
observe that these
generate
people
data
generate
every
data
seconds.
every seconds.
Then again, you might find
Then again,
yourself
you
in
might find yourself in
other
other
sectors or under
sectors or under
industries, like maybe
industries, like maybe transport,
transport firm, maybe a
firm,
transportation
maybe a
firm,
transportation firm,
like the
like the
BRT,
BRT,
like the
like the
Lamata.
Lamata and
Then again,
all.
we have
Then again, we have
NIBSS. You tend to
NIBSS.
find out
You
that
tend to find
all
out
these
that
people
all these
generate
people
data
generate
annually.
data
Even
annually. Even
our marketing data.
marketing data.
These data are
These data are
generated. Maybe you want
generated.
to
Maybe you want
analyze
to analyze a YouTube of
a
an
YouTube
a YouTube
for a
for
firm.
a
You want
firm.
to
You want to
understand if they are
understand if they
generating
are
enough
generating enough
profit based
profit
on their
based on the
advertisement. You understand? You
advertisement.
tend
You
to find
understand?
out
You
that
tend
all
to
these
find out that
data are
all these
generated
data
per
are
seconds.
generated per
So you
seconds. So
importing
you
them to
importing
Excel,
them to
it's
Excel,
like you
it's
creating
like you creating
limitations. So these are
limitations.
the things
So
that
these
made
are
us
the things that made
understand
us
last week,
understand last week
that the best
that the
appropriate way
best
to
appropriate way to
import data to
import
Excel
data
whenever
to
you are
Excel whenever you are
connecting to a
connecting to
large
a
data
large
set
data
is to
set
just to
is
create
to
a
just to create a
relationship with that Power
relationship with
Query
that Power
with
Query
the data
with the
model. So
data
you load
model.
it
So
as
you
a
load it as
data
a
model. So
data
it won't show you
model.
in your
So it won't show
sheet.
you in your sheet.
You will observe that
You will
despite
observe that
having
despite having
data,
data,
I'm not seeing the
I'm not
data here.
seeing the
It's only
data
in my
here. It's
data
only in
model.
my data
So
model.
whenever I want to
So
see the
whenever I want
data,
to see the
all I need to
data,
do is
all
just
I need to
come
do is
under
just
data,
come
under data,
under
come
data,
to
come to
data model.
data
So if
model.
I click on
So
my
if I click on
manage
my
data
manage
model,
data model,
I have access
I
to
have
see
access to see
all the data
all
I
the
have.
data I have.
And this is not
And this
limited
is
to
not
a
limited
specific
to a
number.
specific number.
You can see it's not
You can see
giving
it's
me
not
a
giving me
fixed
a
number. It's only
fixed
telling
number.
me
It's only telling
number
me
related to
number
the data
related to
I
the
have,
data I have,
giving room that
giving room that
it can
it can
exceed whatever
exceed
data I
whatever
want,
data I want,
provided that
provided
the
that
data are well
the data
collected.
are well
So
collected.
now,
So
last
now,
week again,
last week
a quick
again,
recap: we've generated
we've
revenue,
generated
cost
revenue,
of goods sold,
cost of goods sold,
profit.
profit.
Then again, this
Then
should be
again, this should
country.
be country.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. So
sure.
this week,
So this week,
I will try as
I
much
will
as
try as
possible
much
to
as
wrap up.
possible to wrap up.
I will try as much
I'll
as
try as
possible.
much as
But
possible.
despite
But
that,
despite that,
if If
If you
I'm doing
feel I'm
anything,
doing
you feel
anything
you
you
don't
feel you
understand,
don't
please
understand, please
call
call
my
my
attention
attention
to
to
it
it
as
as
fast
fast
as
as
possible.
possible.
Let me know,
Let me know,
instructor,
instructor,
facilitator, please
facilitator,
come again. I
please
don't
come again. I
understand
don't
this.
understand
So
this.
last
So last
week you've
week
generated
we've
again.
generated
Let me open
again.
our
Let me open
dashboard
our
so we know
dashboard
what we
so
are
we know
trying to
what we are
get.
trying to get.
Our complete
Our
dashboard.
complete dashboard.
Now these are
Now
complete
this is our
dashboard.
complete dashboard.
This is what we are trying
This
to
is what we are
achieve.
trying to achieve.
Whereby you look
Whereby
at
you look
a
at a
company's you are able
company's,
to
you are
generate a
able to
company
generate a
sales data.
company sales
Let me
data.
just zoom
Let
out
me
using
just zoom out
control
using
shift,
Control
the
Shift, the
um
um
iPhone
iPhone
keyboard. You
keyboard.
can always use
You
that
can
to
always use
zoom in
that
and
to
zoom out.
zoom in and zoom
Control
out. Control
Alt
Alt
plus or
plus
minus.
or minus.
So this is
So
just
this
an
is
overview
just
of the
an overview of
company's
the company's
dashboard. Just a
dashboard,
small
just a
data set
small
we are
data
using
set
to
we are using to
practice. So
practice.
you see,
So you
as I keep
see,
on
as I
clicking
keep
on
on
each
clicking on
month,
each month,
give me
it gives
data
me
related to
data
the month.
related to
And
the
once
month.
I
And
just
once I just
go back to the
go
okay,
back to
this
this
has
as
Marcos. So let's just
Marcos.
leave
So
it the
let's
way
just
it
leave
is.
it the way it is.
But we are going to
But
get
we
to
are
this
going to
stage
get to
though.
this stage though.
We are going to get to
We're
this
going to
stage.
get to
So
this
now the
stage.
next thing
So
we
now
need
the
to do
next thing we
is
need to do is we need to generate
we've generated
we've
the
generated
total
the
numbers of
total
country
numbers
we
of
have.
country we have.
Again, let's go back.
Again, let's go back.
Let's go back.
Let's go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the
So
total
this
number
is the
of
total
country
number
we
of
have. But
country we
you
have. But
observe
you
that there are
observe that there are
differences.
differences.
Here we have
Here we
8.
have 8.
Here I'm having
Here I'm having
74.
74.
Why is there
Why is
difference?
there
So
difference?
let
So
me break this
let me
down for
break
you
this
so you
down
can
for you so you
understand.
can
The
understand.
reason why there
The
is
reason why there
difference
is
is that
difference is that
from
here I'm
streamlining, I'm
streamlining,
slicing
I'm
based
slicing
on months.
based on
As
months.
I came
As I
to
came
other
to other
months, you can
months,
see there are
you can see there are
changes in the
changes
country.
in the
So
country.
what this is
So
telling
what
us
this
is
is
that
telling us is that
without slicing
without
the data,
slicing the data,
all the
all
country
the country in which in which the
firm has
firm
presence
has
is
presence is
74.
74.
Let's confirm
Let's
that.
confirm
Let's
that.
check our
Let's check our
analysis.
analysis.
Let's check our
Let's check our
analysis.
analysis.
Let's manage
Let's
this
manage
and go and
this
check
and go and check
data
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 manage
models.
data model.
Then let's see
Then let's
what's our
see what's
location.
our location.
Let's scroll
Let's
up.
scroll up.
So you can see
So you
total
can see
sales
total
country is
sales
what
country is what
74. That is the
74.
total.
That is the total.
Because the
Because
reason why we are
the
just
reason why
having
we are
this is
just having
because
this is
we
because
have
we have
sliced based on
sliced based
months
on month
to know okay
to know
in
okay
March
in
we are able
March
to
we're
sell
able to
our
sell our
commodities in nine
commodities in
country,
9 countries,
and these are the
and these are the
informations.
informations.
So let's go
So
down to
let's go
our
down to
own
our
and
own
work on
and
this.
work on this.
Let me ensure I'm
Let
not
me
clicking
ensure
on
I'm
the
not
okay
clicking
app.
on the okay. Yeah.
So last week you
So last week
generated
we've generated
revenue, cost of
revenue,
goods
cost
sold,
of goods sold,
the
the
profits. I
profits.
believe we still
I believe we
remember
still
because we
remember
did it
because we did
ourselves.
it
The
ourselves,
total
the
country.
total
But
country.
now we
But
need to
now we
generate
need to generate
based on
based
what we are
on
working
what we are
with.
working with.
We've gotten
Still,
our
we've gotten
country.
our
We need to
country. We need to
generate for
generate
our
for
products.
our
We need
products.
to get for
We need to get
customer.
for customer.
Then we need to get
Then we
for
need to get for
transaction.
transaction.
The total
The total
transaction made for that
transaction made
month
for that
or for
month,
that year
made for that
based on
year,
our
based on
slicer
our
though.
slicer though.
So now
So now,
again,
again,
let me throw the
let me
question to
throw the
the
question
house
to the house
because I believe
because I
last week,
believe last week,
if we are
if
truly
we are
following, we
truly
should be able
following,
to
we should
know
be able to
how
know
to go
how
about
to
our
go about
products.
our
So do
products.
we have
So
anybody
do we
who
have
can just
anybody who can just
give us a
give
clear,
us a clear,
no right answer
no right
and
answer
no
and
wrong
no
answer?
wrong
Let's take note
answer?
of
Let's
that.
take note of
So do we
that.
have
So
anybody
do
who
we have
just want
anybody
to
who
give
just
us a
want to
clue of
give us a
how to
clue of
use
how to
measures?
use
Take notes. We
measures?
are not
Take
using
notes. We are not
calculated
using
color.
calculated color.
How to use
How to
measures
use
to
measures
generate
to
our
generate our
products
products
or
or
our product
our
measure.
product measure.
Do we have anyone
Do
who
we
wants
have
to help
anyone who
out?
wants to help out?
Do we?
Do we?
Do we have
Do
anyone
we
who
have
wants to
anyone who
help
wants
out?
to help out?
Who wants to help
Who
us
wants to
out
help us out
in
in
generating
generating
in generating
in generating
what's it called?
what's it called?
in
in generating
generating
product
product
measure.
measure. It's
It's
just a
just a
simple
simple
formula. We've
formula.
done
We've
it
done
last
it
week.
last week.
We've done that
We've
last
done
week.
that last week.
It's just for
It's just
us
for us
to be able
to
to
be
just
able to
recollect
just
that
recollect that
functioning.
functioning.
Do we have
Do we
anyone?
have anyone?
I guess we
I
don't.
guess we don't.
So because of our
So
time,
because of our
so what
time,
we need to
so
do
what we
again
need to
is
do again is
simple.
very simple.
We just need to come
We just need
back
to
to our
come
data
back to our
model.
data
In
model.
our data
In our
model,
data
as we
model,
generate
as we
for
generate
country,
for
take
country,
note, we use
take note, we use
distinct count.
distinct count.
And I
And
explained the
I
reason why we
explained
are
the reason
using
why we are
distinct
using
count.
distinct
I said
count.
we have a
I
lot
said
of
we have a lot of
aggregation
aggregation
functions in Excel.
functions in Excel.
We have a lot of
We have a
aggregation
lot of
functions.
aggregation
If you want to
functions.
learn
If you
more
want to
about
learn more
aggregation
about
functions,
aggregation
you can
functions,
easily
you can
connect
easily
to
connect to
you can easily
you
just
can easily
maybe
just
subscribe for
maybe
our paid
subscribe for our
section,
paid
or
section,
you can just
or
come
you can
down.
just
You
come
can do
down,
it learn
you can do
yourself.
it, learn
Come
yourself,
down to
come down to
Microsoft
Microsoft
365. So
365.
in
So
Microsoft
in Microsoft
365, you
365,
can just search
you
for
can just search for
um Microsoft Agri,
Microsoft
or just
Agri,
search
or
for
just search for
Excel
Excel
aggregation
aggregation
function.
function.
Then come
Then
under
come
Microsoft
under
support.
Microsoft support.
This is going to
This
give
is going to
you a
give you
lot of
a lot
aggregations
of
functions.
aggregations
We have
functions. We have
average, we have
average, we
count, we
have
have
count, we
counter,
have
we
counter,
have
we
max, we
have
have
max, we
mean,
have mean,
product. This
product. This
STDV,
STDV,
STDEV
STDEV
X
dot
means
X means
standard deviation.
standard deviation.
It means
It means
standard
standard
deviation.
deviation.
Then this sum,
And this
it simply
sum, it
means we are
simply
summing.
means we
I've
are summing.
explained.
I've
This var
explained.
means
This var
variance.
means
We have
variance.
median,
We
we
have
have mode,
median,
we
we
have
have
lag.
mode, we have
You can
lag.
just check
You
them
can
out
just
at your
check them
leisure
out
time.
at your
But if
leisure
you want
time.
to
But if you
understand
want to
the
understand the
usefulness of how we
usefulness or
usually
how
make
we
use of
usually
this
make use
function,
of this
you can
function,
subscribe for
you
one
can
of our
subscribe
paid
for one of
version.
our paid
But
version.
let's go
But let's
into
go
what we have
into
for
what
today.
we have for today.
So now we
So
just need to
now we
generate our
just need to
total
generate our
product.
total
So to generate
product.
our
So to
total
generate our
product,
total
click on a
product,
blank
click on a blank
cell right here
cell right here
after this
after this
demarcation.
demarcation. Take
Then
note.
come in
Then
the
come in the
function, in the
function,
formula
in
bar,
the
then
formula bar,
type
then
total
type
product. The
total
name
product. The
first,
name first,
the name of the
the
measure you
name
want
of
to
the measure
create,
you want to create,
product. Then take
product.
note,
Then
you
take
start with a
note, you start with a
semicolon,
semicolon,
equals.
equals.
Then now,
Then now,
what function do
what
we want to
function
use?
do we
Take
want to
note, we
use?
want
Take
to know
note.
the
We want to know
total
the
products
total
in which the
products
firms
in
are
which the
selling.
firms are
So what
selling.
we need to do is
So all we
just
need
use
to do
our
is just use our
distinct count.
distinct count.
These are
These
distinct
are
count
distinct
to
counts.
count
To count
the numbers
the
of
numbers of
products.
products.
Take note,
Take
we have
note,
two
we have
products.
two
We have
products. We
product
have
ID,
product
we have
ID, we
product
have
name, we have
product
product
name, we
ID.
have product
Then again, we
ID.
have
And
another
again, we have another
sales
sales
product ID.
product
Now
ID.
take note,
Now
I will
take
be
note, I
using
will be
sales
using
product
sales
ID, and
product
I'm going to
ID, and I'm
explain the
going to
reason why I'm
explain the
using
reason why I'm
sales
using
product
sales
ID.
product ID.
Last week I
Last
mentioned
week
I made mention of
I made mention of
difference
difference
between
between
fact table
fact table
and
and
dimensional table.
dimensional
That
table.
dimensional
That
table are just
dimensional
meant
table are
to
just meant
provide
to provide
additional
additional
information about
information
the fact
about
table.
the fact
The
table.
fact
The
table
fact
are
table are
transaction table,
transaction table,
meaning that these are
meaning that
table
these
that
are tables
generates
that we
every
generate
seconds
every
every time
seconds every
a
time
customer
a
comes to the
customer
store
comes to the
to what
store
to
to
buy a
what to
certain
buy a certain
commodity. But
commodity.
I said,
But I
in
said,
order to
in
reduce
order to reduce
redundancy, I made mention
redundancy,
of
I
that
made
last
mention
week.
of that
That
last
is why
week.
we usually
That is
have
why
a
we usually have
dimensional table,
dimensional table,
which keep
which
record.
keep record.
It keep
It
record
keep
for the
record
total
for the
numbers
total
of
numbers
customers
of
we have, their
customers we have,
names,
their
and
names,
other
and other
information. And I
information.
made mention
And
of
I
that
made
by
mention of
using
that by
a
using
common
a
example
common
for
example
everybody,
for everybody, which is
using a
using
student
a
matric
student
number.
matric
Like I
number.
know we have
Like I know we have
students all over
students
this
all over
in a
this
school.
in
Let's
a
say
school. Let's
Unilag,
say Unilag.
but this
But
student
this
is
student is
specific to
specific
a
to a
certain
certain
department, which is what,
department,
maybe
which is
let's
what?
say
Maybe let's say
business
business
administration. So
administration.
in business
So in business
administration, we are going to
administration,
create
they are going
a
to create a
portfolio for this
portfolio
student,
for this
giving the
student,
student a
giving the
matric
student a
number.
matric number.
But this student
But
can
this
go
student
to
can go to
art,
arts,
he or she can
he
go
or she
to
can go to
social sciences to
social
go and
sciences to
offer
go and
other
offer
courses
other
despite
courses
he is from
despite he is
management.
from
But
management.
what makes
But
them
what makes
identify
them
that student
identify that
is that
student is
matric
what? Is
number.
that matric number.
But if they want to
But
get
if they want to
further
get further
information about
information
these students,
about these
one of the
students,
things they
one of
can
the
easily
things they can
use is
easily
what?
use is
Using
what? Using
his matric
his
number to
matric
fetch
number to
his
fetch
further
his
information,
further information,
which I
which
explained
I
last
explained
week.
last week.
So that is
So
why
that is
we have
why we
difference
have
between
difference between
fat table
fat
and
table and
dimensional table.
dimensional table.
So now for
So
this
now
sales,
for this
we
sales,
will talk about
we will talk
each
about each
product we
product
sell
we
in a
sell
day.
in a day.
Each product we
Each
sell
product we
in a
sell
day.
in a
But
day.
if you are
But
using
if you are
the
using the
product
product
ID from the
ID from
product
the product
dimensional table, it's
dimensional table,
limited to
it's
that
limited to that
table alone. So
table
we might not
alone.
get
So we might not
relevant
get
information.
relevant
So it is
information. So
always
it is
ideal
always ideal
that whenever we
that
want to
whenever we
use
want to use
any
any
um
um whenever we want to
any
use any
data,
data,
we should use the one
you should
on
use
the
the
fat
one on
table,
the
which
fact
is
table, which
collected
is
every
collected
day.
every day,
Which is collected
which
every
is
day.
collected every day.
So now
So now we've
we've done this, which is
done this,
total
which is
product,
total product,
distinct count,
distinct
then
count,
press
then press
OK.
OK.
So let's wait while
So
it
let's wait
generates the
while it
result for
generates that
us.
result
So
for
now we
us.
have the
So now we
result.
have
Let's
the
just
results. Let's
expand
just
it.
expand it.
Now we have a
Now
total
we have a
product of
total product
101.
of 1
So
1.
if we
So
start
if
using
we
our
start
slicer
using
to
our
slim
slicer
to
to
streamline, we
streamline,
can
we
see the
can
breakdown
see
that
the
was sold
breakdown that
in a
was sold
month.
in a month.
So that is that
So
about
that is
total
that about
product. So
total
what's the
product.
next thing
So
we need
what's
to
the next thing we
generate
need to
again? Let's go
generate
and
again?
check.
Let's go and check.
Let's go and check
Let's go and check
our dashboard.
our dashboard.
We've generated
We've
for
generated
total
for
product. Again,
total
we need to know
product.
the
Again, we need
total
to know the
customer.
total customer.
The total
The
customer.
total customer.
We need to know
We
the
need to know the
total
total
customer.
customer.
Again, here we'll be
Again,
using
here we'll be
distinct
using
count,
distinct count,
and we will be
and
using
we'll be
not the
using not
customer
the
ID
customer
from the
ID from
customer
the
table. Take
customer
notes.
table. Take
We'll
notes.
be using
We'll be
the
using the
customer ID
customer
from the
ID from the
sales
sales
table
table
because it is
because it
generated
is
every
generated
day.
every day.
Then press
And
enter.
press enter.
Again, that is the
Again,
number of
that is the
total
number of
customer we
total
have.
customer we have.
But when we
But
start
when
using
we start
slicer
using
again, we will
slicer
get
again,
more
we will
meaning
get
from
more
this
meaning from this
information.
information.
Let's go back
Let's
to our
go back
data.
to
Do
our
we have
data. Do
anyone?
we have anyone?
Remaining
Okay, to remaining
transaction. But
transaction.
right now,
But
we won't
right
be
now, we
using
won't be
distinct
using
count
distinct
for
count
transaction.
for transaction.
And why? Let
And
me
why?
explain.
Let me explain.
The reason why we won't
The
be
reason
using
why we won't be
distinct
using
count.
distinct count.
If we come
If
to
we come to
if we come
if
to
we come to
the
the aggregation
let's click
function,
on
let's
distinct
click on
count.
distinct count.
Let's search for
Let's search for
distinct.
distinct,
And we
and we
understand
understand how distinct count works.
So you understand
So you
that
understand that distinct count
gets to count
gets to count
a unique
a
count
unique
of
count
values
of
in a range
values in
in
a
Excel.
range in
Take
Excel.
note of that.
Take note of that.
Are we together? Can
Are we
everybody
together?
hear
Can
me
everybody
vividly?
hear me vividly?
I need to know if
I
my
need to know
network
if
is
my network
breaking
is breaking
or not.
or
Can
not.
everyone hear
Can
me
everyone
vividly?
hear me vividly?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So
So
distinct count counts
distinct count
for a
counts for a
unique count
unique
as
count
I've mentioned
as I've
last week.
mentioned last
So it
week.
means if
So
we
it
are
means if we
counting
are counting
uniquely
uniquely
for
for
transaction, we want to
transaction,
know the
we want
total
to know the total
transaction we
transaction
made maybe
we
per
made
day,
maybe
per
per day,
month,
per
or
month,
per
or
quarters,
per quarters,
or maybe even
or
per
maybe
year.
even per
Using
year.
a
Using
distinct
a
count won't
distinct
give us
count won't give
accurate
us
number.
accurate
So
number.
whenever we are
So
dealing
whenever we are
with
dealing with
transaction, we use
transaction,
something
we
else.
use
We don't
something
use
else.
sum,
We don't use
but we
sum,
use what
but
we
we
know
use what
as
we know as
count
count
rows,
rows,
because these
because
rules are
these rules
talking
are
about
talking
each
about
rules talks
each
about
rules talks about
transactions,
transactions,
transactions that was
transactions
made.
that was made.
So this is
So
telling us
this
that
is telling us that
we sell a
we sell a
commodity
commodity
and we generate the
and we
revenue
generate the
for
revenue
this, and the
for
purchase
this,
date
and the
is this
purchase date is
day we
this
have here.
day we have here.
and it's talking
and
about
it's talking
okay,
about okay
how many
how many
sold, which is
we
the
sold, which
quantity.
is the
So what we
quantity.
need to
So what we need to
do here is to
do
count
here
the
is to count
numbers of
the numbers
rows
of
we have.
rows we have.
So we are not using
So we are not
distinct
using
count, because
distinct count
distinct
because
count counts
distinct count
unique
counts unique
numbers. So we
numbers.
just need to
So
come
we
to
just need
another
to
cell.
come to
So
another
it's
cell.
not a
So
must
it's
that you
not
need
a
to come
must that you
down,
need to
come down.
come down,
You
come
might
down.
decide to
You
use
might
the
decide
one
to
year.
use the one
You might
year.
decide to
You
use
might
the 1
decide
year.
to use the one year
All together. So what
all
we need to
together.
do
So what
here
we
is
need to do
again
here
to
is
just
again just
name this
name this
total
total
transaction or
transaction or
transactions.
transactions.
Then we have our
Then we have a
colon
colon
equals to.
equals to.
Here we are using
Here we are
count
using count
rows.
rows.
So now
So
we
now
need to
we need
understand
to
how this
understand how
argument
this
works.
argument
So
works.
what
So
count
what
rows
count
does is
rows
that
does is that
it counts
it
the
counts
total
the
numbers of
total
row
numbers of
in
rows
a
in
table.
a
It's not
table. Is not
column specific.
column
You know,
specific.
of
You
what
know
we've
of
been doing
what
before,
we've
the
been doing
distinct
before. The
count is
distinct count
column
is column
specific. It
specific.
deals with a
It deals with
specific
a
column
specific
name.
column
But
name.
the count row
But the count
deals with
row
a
deals with
table
a
name.
table name.
And we have
And
three.
we have
We
three,
have three
we
here. We
have
have
three,
about four
we have
tables.
about
We have
four
the
tables.
sales
We have the
table,
sales
we have the
table, we
customer
have the
table,
customer
we have
table,
the
we have the
location table, we
location
have the
table, we
product
have the
table,
product
then we
table,
have the
then we
sales
have the sales speed
table. So
table.
here we
So
can easily
here we
choose
can
maybe
easily choose
between
maybe
sales
between
table,
sales table,
among sales
among
table,
sales table,
customer table,
customer table,
location table,
location table,
and
product table,
sales
and
people.
sales
But
people.
in this
But in this
kind of
kind
analysis
of
that we are dealing
analysis
with
that we are dealing
transaction,
with transaction,
we are
take
using
note, we
our
are using
sales
our
table
sales
because
table
it's giving us
because
the
it's
record
giving us the
of
record
the
of
total
the
each
total each
transaction we are
transaction
making in
we
a
are
day.
making in a day.
So you type
So we type
transaction,
transaction,
you type
we type
sales
sales
over here, the
over here,
sales table,
the sales table,
then close the
then
bracket
close
and
the
press
bracket
enter.
and press enter.
So that should give
So
us
that should give us
the total
the total
transaction we made.
transaction we made.
Just as simple
It's
as
just
that.
as
So
simple
let's
as that. So
expand.
let's expand.
So now these are the
So now these are
values.
the values.
So you can see the
So you can
values.
see
So
the
let me
values.
just
So let me
ensure I
just
format
ensure
it
I
very well.
format it very well.
This should be
This
separated
should be
by comma.
separated by comma.
Let me
Let
expand.
me expand.
Then again, we
Then
don't
again, we
want
don't want
decimal place
decimal
because we are
place
dealing
because
with
we are dealing with
transaction.
transaction.
Then
Then
the
one
one
for
for revenue,
revenue, we need
we
to
need to format
format
our
our
revenue
revenue
also
also
because
because
very
very
soon
soon
we'll
we'll
be
be
populating
populating
our
our
KPIs. So
KPIs.
what we need to do
So what
here
we need
is
to do here
we need
is
to
we
format
need to
this to
format
be
this to
currency
be currency
because revenue is
because
talking
the
about
revenue is talking
currency,
about
our cost
currency,
of goods
our
sold is
cost of
talking
goods
about
sold is talking about
currency, the
currency,
profit is
the
talking
profit
about
is talking
currency.
about
So we need to
currency. So
format
we need to
those
format
three
those three
by ensuring we
by
choose
ensuring we choose the
currency,
currency, the
currency.
appropriate
So now
currency.
here we have
So now
the
here we have
English
the
United
English
States
United
dollar, we
States
have the
dollar, we
euro
have the
for
euro
of
for
United
of
Kingdom,
United Kingdom,
we have the
we
euro
have the
again,
euro again,
we have
we have
Chinese
Chinese
PRC and so
PRC
on. But
and so on.
I
But
like
I
promoting my
like
own
promoting my
local
own
currency.
local
That's
currency.
how
That
our
is
currency
how our
gain
currency
values.
gain
So
values.
for you to
So
choose other
for you to choose
currency,
other
what you need to do
currency,
is
what
just
you need
click
to do
on
is just click
more
on
format.
more format.
Then you can see it give
Then
you
you
the
can see it's
option of
give you the option
symbols.
of
So you
symbols.
can just
So you can
search
just
for maybe
search for maybe
Igbo,
Igbo,
Hausa,
Hausa,
or
or
stroke. You can
stroke.
stroke.
You can
That's the option
stroke.
of you
That's the option
strolling
of you
also.
strolling also.
Stroke till you see
Stroke
your
till you
local
see your
currency.
local currency.
So let me just
So let me
promote
just promote
Nigerian Naira
Nigerian
currency.
Naira currency. Sure.
So now we have
So now we have
Naira.
Naira.
Then again,
Then
I'm
again,
ensuring
I'm ensuring
it is one
it is
decimal
one
place.
decimal place.
So let's just do the
So let's
same
just
thing
do the
for
same thing
others.
for others.
Again,
Again,
more
more
Naira sign.
Naira
Let's just
sign. Let's just
exactly.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's do the
So
last
let's
thing
do
for
the last thing
revenue.
for revenue.
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 Again, we need to pick
Again, we
our
need to pick
Naira
our
symbol.
Naira symbol.
it
It
has to
doesn't
be
mean it has to
English
be
naira. You
English
might decide
naira.
you
You
want
might decide you
Edo
want
naira,
Edo naira,
or
Ibibio
naira, or Igbo
naira, or
naira.
Igbo naira.
I just want to make it
I just want to
simple,
make
so
it
let's just
simple.
use
So let's just
English
use
naira.
English naira.
So now we have our
So now
naira
we have our
symbol.
naira
Do we need to
symbol.
do
Do we need
anything?
to do
So now the
anything?
next thing
So
we
now
need
the
to do
next thing
right
we
now
need to
is
do right
to
now
create
is to
our
create our
KPIs,
KPIs, which is
key
known as key
performance
performance
indicators.
indicators.
For every
For every
organization, for every
organization,
firm,
for every firm,
be it
be it uh,
telecommunication, be it
telecommunication, be it
services, be it
services,
even the
be it
public
even the
sector,
public
which
sector,
is government.
which is government.
Everyone uses
Everyone
what we know
uses
as
what we know
KPIs.
as
What are the
KPIs.
key
What are
performance
the key
indicators for
performance
the month,
indicator for the month,
for the
for the
quarters, or for the
quarters,
year?
or for the
So the
year?
key
So
performance
the key
indicator
performance
majorly
indicator
used
majorly
for a
used
sales
for a
dashboard
sales
is
dashboard is
you seeing your
you seeing
revenue,
your
you
revenue,
seeing your
you
cost
seeing
of
your
goods
cost
sold,
of goods
then
sold,
also you
then
seeing
also
your
you seeing
profit,
your profit,
the total country
the
in which
total
you
country in
operate,
which you
the
operate,
total
the
product in
total
which you
product in
sell,
which
see
you
how they are
sell, see
doing in
how
the
they are
market,
doing in the
then the
market,
total
then the
customer you
total
are
customer you
generating.
are
Is
generating.
it
Is it
increasing or
increasing or
decreasing over time?
decreasing over time? Those has
Those
implications. Those
KPIs have been
KPIs have
mentioning
been
has
mentioning
implication
as
on the
implication on
company's
the
sales.
company's
So
sales.
again, let's go
So
back to
again,
our
let's go back to our
Excel sheet and
Excel
leave the
sheet
data
and leave
model.
the data
So it
model.
means we need
So
to
it means we
generate
need to
this
generate this
KPI,
KPI,
the total
the
country,
total country,
the
the
product, the
product,
customer,
the
the
customer,
transaction.
the
So what
transaction.
we need to do
So
again,
what we
come
need
to
to
our
do again, come to
analysis.
our
We've done
analysis.
one
We've
for
done
total
one for
country, right?
total country, right?
Let me expand
Let
it.
me expand.
Let me just drag
Let me
this to the
just drag
side.
this to the side.
Let me just close
Let
it.
me just close it.
So
So
again, click on
again,
this.
click on this.
After clicking on
After
this,
clicking
just
on
come to
this,
your
just come
pivot
to your
field.
pivot field.
In your pivot
In your
field,
pivot field,
scroll down to where we
scroll down
have
to where we have
those
those
items.
items.
Scroll down to where we
Scroll
have
down
those
to where we have
items.
those items.
Then we need
Then we need
transactions.
transactions.
We need
We
total
need
customer.
total
Just check
customer.
them.
Just check
It's
them.
just as
It's
simple as
just
you
as simple
checking.
as you checking.
Or you might just
Or
want
you
to
might
drag.
just want to
So you
drag.
can drag
So you
them
can
to
drag them to
values.
values.
You can always drag
You
them
can
to
always drag
values.
them to
So again,
values.
let's
So again,
check.
let's
We need
check.
total
We need
products.
total
You will
products.
see there's a
You will see
difference
there's a
between
difference
the one we
between the
created
one
with
we created
measure
with
and the one
measure
we create
and the one we
with
create with
normal table.
normal table.
You can see these are
You
not
can see
showing
these are not
FX.
showing
The
FX.
FX is
The
telling us
FX is
that this is
telling
a
us
what
that
is
this
a
is a what
measure.
is a
And if
measure.
we click
And
on the
if we
FX
click on the
symbol,
FX
it
symbol,
gives us the
it gives us
opportunity
the
to what?
opportunity to what?
To edit
To
the measure
edit
if
the
you want to
measure if
change
you want to
things.
change
I
things.
guess we've come
I
here
guess
before,
we've
we've
come here
seen things
before, we've
around here.
seen things
How we
around here.
can easily
How we
get the
can easily
formula
check
if
the
the
formula
DAX,
if the
data
DAX, which is
analysis
data
expression,
analysis
is
expression,
fine
is fine
and there's no error,
and
it's free
there's no
from
error, it's free
errors.
from errors.
And also this also
And
give
also
us
this
the
also give us the it gives us the
opportunity to
opportunity
add
to add
descriptions than
descriptions
using the
than
normal
using the
cells.
normal cells.
Then let's just check
Then let's
again
just
our
check again our
revenue,
revenue.
we're checking our
We're
cost of
checking
goods
our cost
sold,
of goods sold.
then we are also
Then we
checking
are
our
also checking our
profits.
profit.
So the next thing we
So the
need to
next thing we
do
need to do
again
again is to ensure we
it
format it
very well.
very well.
So let's just come
So
to
let's just come
home.
to home.
I don't want
I don't want
decimal place.
decimal
Let's keep it
place. Let's
simple
keep
as
it
this.
simple as this.
Sure.
Sure.
Let's keep it
Let's
simple as
keep it
that.
simple as that.
So under
So
dashboard,
under
how do
dashboard,
we now need
how
to
do we
bring
now need
this
to
in
bring this
right here?
in right
So
here?
what we need to do
So
is
what we need
just
to do is just
duplicate this by
duplicate
using your
this by using
control
your
D,
control D,
or
or
you can just
you can
drag
just drag
and holding your
and holding
control,
your control
it duplicates
to duplicate
automatically.
automatically.
So let's just
So let's
duplicate it
just
here.
duplicate it here,
Reduce the
reduce
size.
the size,
Reduce the
reduce the
size.
size.
Again, let's do the
Okay,
same
let's
thing
do the
for
same thing
others.
for others.
So let's just
Let's
duplicate
just
this.
duplicate this.
One, two,
One, two,
three.
three.
I guess that is all.
I guess that is all.
So we bring
So
this
we
to
bring this to
transaction.
transaction.
We bring this
We
to
bring this to
customer.
customer.
Then we bring
Then
this
we
to
bring this to
product.
product.
Don't forget
Don't
last week.
forget last
If
week,
you will
if
recall
you will
vividly,
recall
I
vividly,
said
I
there are two
said
ways of
there
you
are two ways of
referencing
you
other
referencing
cells.
other cells
That you can easily
that you
just
can
create
easily
a
just
name
create
tag
a name tag
for all
for
this,
all this.
or
or
you come here,
you come
if
here.
you want to
If you want
reference,
to
you
reference,
just delete
you
whatever
just
we have
delete
here,
whatever we
use
have here.
that
Use that
Excel sheet,
Excel
use the
sheet.
Excel
Use the
formula
Excel
bar,
formula
press
bar.
equals to,
Press
then come
equals
to
to, then
other
come to
region
other
to press,
region to press
and click on that
and
cell
click on
that
that
you want to
cell that you
reference.
want to
You are still
reference.
going to get
You
the
are still
same
going to
thing.
get the same thing.
Sorry.
Sorry.
There's an error on
There's
that.
an error on that. I'm coming.
Equals
Equals
this.
this.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm coming.
I'm
What I need to do
coming.
is
What I
just
need to do is
reference
just
it in an empty
reference it in
cell.
an empty cell.
So let me just
So
do
let
the
me just do
referencing
the
here. Since we
referencing
are
here.
using
Since we are using
pivot, that's why
pivot,
it's not giving us
that's
that
why it's not giving us that
opportunity.
opportunity.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Sure.
Sure.
Do we need the
Do
revenue
we need
cost
the
of goods
revenue
sold?
cost of goods
No,
sold?
we
No,
don't need it
we
here,
don't need it
but
here, but we might need it.
we might need it
We might
elsewhere.
need
So
it
let's just
elsewhere.
copy
So
it
let's
here.
just copy it here.
Let me just
Let
copy
me
it
just
here.
copy it here.
Good.
Good.
But for now, we
But
don't
for
need it.
now, we
So let
don't
me
need it.
just
So let me just uncheck,
uncheck
uncheck,
and uncheck
and
revenue
uncheck revenue
for now.
for now.
Let me expand
Let me
this using
expand
an
this
Alt
using my Alt
HOI.
HOI.
So it makes it
So it makes it
fitting to that
fitting
cell.
to that cell.
Again, I
Again,
said
I said
Alt
Alt
HOI
HOI
to expand
to expand and to
to
expand a
fit
cell
in
to
the
fit in
text
the
we
text
have in that cell.
we have in that
So
cell.
now let's just
So now let's
reference
just
it.
reference this.
Products
Product
equals
equals the
total
referencing
product.
total product.
So now you
So
can see
now
this
you can
is
see
a little
this
bit
is a little
stressful.
bit
We
stressful.
going.
We
So
going.
let's
So
assume
let's assume
we are dealing
we
with
are
an
dealing with
Excel sheet
an
that
Excel
has
sheet that has
multiple tabs.
multiple
So what
tabs.
do we need to do?
So
Do
what
we
do we
need to
need to do?
keep
Do we need to
switching
keep
tabs? No,
switching tabs?
it's not
No,
ideal.
it's not
So one of the
ideal.
ideal
So one
method
of the ideal method I
or
usually
I
use
usually
or I
employ
usually
is
employ
I
is
name
I
all
name
my.
all my.
Let me just delete
Let me just
this.
delete this.
I name
I
all
name
the
all
cells.
the
So
cells.
what I do is
So what I do
highlight
is
it. After
highlight it
highlighting,
after highlighting,
then come to where we
then come
have
to where we have
formulas,
formulas,
then
then
create
create
from
from
selection. You
selection.
can see
You can see
create name
create
from
name
value
from
in the
value
top
in
row.
the top
Very
row.
simple as
Very
that.
simple
So
as
once
that.
you click
So once
OK,
you click OK,
automatically it has
automatically
created
it
that
has
name.
created
So
that
what I
name.
need to do is
So what
just
I
come
need
to
to do is just
dashboard.
come to
Just
dashboard.
press
Just press
equals
equals
total.
total.
I'm coming.
I'm coming.
Ensure you are using the
Ensure you are
formula
using the
bar.
formula bar.
So what we are using is
So what we are using is
equals
equals
total
total
product. You can see
product. You can
the
see
icon of
the icon
a
of a
table or
table
the
or
icon of a
the
sheet.
icon of a
So what
sheet.
I want to do
So what I
is
want to do
total
is
product.
total
Okay,
product.
give us
Okay,
that same
give us
value.
that same
So you
value.
can see this is
So you
even
can see
more
this is even
easier.
more
You
easier.
don't need to switch
You don't need to switch
between
between
sheets.
sheets.
Again, here we are dealing
Again,
with
here
what?
we are dealing with
Total
what? Total
products or total
products or
customer.
total customer.
Again, we just click
Again, we
that
just click that
and press OK.
and press OK.
And you can see this
And you can
method
see
is
this
more
method is
faster
more faster
than just
than
switching
just switching
sheets. So
sheets.
the next thing we need
So
to
the
do is
next thing
just
we need to do is
format
just format
this
this
KPI.
KPI.
Again, this country
Again,
again
this
we need
country
to
again we need to
reference that
reference
we have
that we have a
total country.
total country.
Okay.
Okay.
So we need to
So we
format.
need to format.
We need to also
We need to
ensure
also ensure
we
we
align.
align.
So firstly, let's
So
first
firstly, let's
align.
first align.
After aligning the
After
text,
aligning the
then we
text,
format
then
it.
we format it.
We don't just
We
create
don't just create
KPIs, we ensure we
KPIs. We
align
ensure we align.
everything
Everything are
in
in good
proportion.
proportion.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Expand a little
expand a
bit.
little bit.
So highlight
So
everything
highlight
using
everything using
control.
control.
So hold your
So
control
hold your
key, then
control
click
key,
on
then
each
click
one of
on each one of
those KPI
those
with their
KPI with
values.
their values. So once you've
come
done
down
that,
to
come down to
shape format.
shape
You
format.
should be able to
You
see
should be able to
align,
see
then
align,
align
then align
top.
top.
So once you've
So
aligned
once
top,
you've aligned top,
once you've aligned
once
top,
you've aligned
then
top,
try to ensure
then
that
try to
those
ensure
text
that those
fit in
text fit
properly.
in properly.
Ensure those text
Ensure
fit
those
in
text fits in
properly. Then
properly.
after that
Then
again,
after
take
that
notes.
again, take
You still need
notes.
to
You still need
distribute
to
to ensure that
distribute to
the
ensure that
space in
the space
between
in
are
between
proportion.
are
We don't just
proportion.
have
We don't just
excess
have
space here.
excess space
We
here.
don't have excess
We don't have
space here.
excess space
So
here.
what we need to do
So what we
again,
need to do
let's
again,
check our
let's
dashboard.
check our dashboard
Again,
again,
okay, good.
again. Okay, good.
So now let's
So
group
now let's
and
group and
distribute. So
distribute.
hold your control
So hold
key
your
again.
control key again.
Highlight,
Highlight.
then come
Then
under
come
align,
under
then
align.
you should be able to
Then you
see
should be able to see
distribute
distribute
horizontally.
horizontally.
So we
So
first
we
need to
first
group
need to group before
before
distributing
horizontally.
horizontally.
Control,
Control,
then come down to
then come
shape
down to
format,
shape
then
format,
group.
then group.
We group that.
We group that.
Again, we
Again,
group.
we group.
Again, we group.
Again, we group.
Then lastly,
Then lastly,
we group
we group
this
this
group.
group.
So after
So
grouping,
after
now we
grouping,
can
now we can
distribute
distribute
horizontally.
horizontally.
So now we group
So
it
now we've grouped
horizontally.
it
So the next thing
horizontally.
we
So
need to
the
do
next
is
thing we need to
create
do
our
is create
dashboard
our
and
dashboard
create the
and create
environment.
the
So
environment.
again, we
So
need to
again,
create
we need to create
our
a
location for
location for
month
month
slicer.
slicer.
Take note,
Take
as we
note,
have here,
as we have
we
here,
have a month
we have a
slicer,
month
which
slicer,
gives us
which gives
access to
us access
streamline
to
our data
streamline our
based on
data
month.
based on month.
So what we need to
So
do
what we
again,
need to
come
do
down
again,
here,
come down here,
check from
check
6, it
from
will be from
6, it will be
6
from 6,
C6 cell
C6,
66
cell 6,
and
6, and
C7, then we
C7.
are
Then
creating
we
it
are creating it
till
till
to P.
to P.
So what we need to do
So
is
what we
just
need to do is
highlight
just
those
highlight
regions,
those regions,
then just change
then
the
just
background
change the
color
background color
to maybe a
to
light
maybe a light
gray,
gray,
just to make it stand
just to
out.
make it stand out.
So after doing
So
that, the
after
next thing
doing
we
that,
need
the
to do
next
is
thing we need to do is we need to create our
year.
year.
Yes, if I'm right,
Yes,
that
if
should
I'm
be
right,
our
that
year
should be our
profit
year profit
analysis.
analysis.
Then
Then
our
we create
quantity
our
sold,
quantity
cost of
sold,
goods sold,
cost of goods
revenue
sold,
and
revenue
profit
and profit
metrics. With
metrics.
this
With
graph we
this
are seeing
graph
here.
we are seeing here.
So let's create
So
that.
let's create
So for us
that.
to create
So
that,
for
we
us
need
to
to
create that, we need
insert
to
an
insert an
object.
object.
We need to insert
We need to
an
insert
object.
an object.
So come to
So come to
illustration,
illustration,
insert shape.
insert shape.
Then we are
Then we are inserting this
rounded color
rounded color
rectangle.
rectangle.
So you can see.
So you can see.
For me, let me
And
just
for
check
me, let
the
me just
size.
check the
So we work
size.
with
So
the
we
same
work with the
size.
same size.
Let's check
Let's
this.
check this.
Okay,
Okay,
0.73 by
0.73 by
2.41.
2.41.
Again, in order not to
Again,
go
in order not
beyond
to
size,
go
we need
beyond
to ensure
size,
we
we
are
need to ensure
working
we
with
are
size.
working with size.
0.73
0.73
by
by
2.41.
2.41.
This should
I
be
guess this
too
should be
big.
too big.
So if that is the
So if
case, we
that is
just
the
need
case,
to
we just need to
fill this to the
fill
right.
this to the right.
Then ensure we
Highlight all this. Let's ensure we highlight all this.
and
Then
adjust it
adjust it
to the right.
to the right.
So it can be
So
at the
it can be
center.
at the center.
Good.
Good.
So now we need to
So now
format
we need to
all this.
format
Let's
all
just change
this.
the
Let's
color
just change the
to a
color to
lighter
a
gray.
lighter
So
gray.
come to shape
So come to
format.
shape
Under shape
format.
format,
Under
the
shape
shape
format,
the
the shape
shape
the
fill
shape fill
is light.
is light.
Let's do the same thing
Let's
for
do the same thing for
everything.
everything. Then we won't be working with
We won't be working with
outline.
we won't be working with
We won't be
shape
working with
outline.
shape outline.
Instead of shape
Instead of
outline,
shape
we'll be
outline,
using
we'll be
a
using
shadow
a
just to make
shadow
it
just
stand
to
out.
make it stand out.
And take note,
And
this is
take
not
note, this is
just
not just
me using the
me
best
using
standard.
the
It's
best
just
standard.
my
It's just my
preference. You
preference.
might decide
You might decide
you want
you want
outline.
outline.
It's just a
It's
preference.
just a
So
preference.
for you to see
So
the
for you
format
to see the
shape, you can
format
easily
shape,
do
you can
that
easily
using
do
two
that
methods.
using
You
two
can press your
methods. You can
Ctrl
press your
one. Once you
control
click
one.
on the
Once you click
object,
on the object,
press Ctrl one.
press
It's going to
control
give
one.
you
It's going to
format
give
shape.
you format shape.
Or you can
Or
just
you
right
can
click
just
on the
right click on
object,
the
then come
object,
to
then come
format
to
shape.
format shape.
Either way around
Will
will give
give
you
you
the
the
same
same
solution.
solution.
Then you come to where
Then you
we
come
have
to where we have
effect. Under
effect.
effect,
Under
let's just
effect,
add
let's just add
little shadow.
little shadow.
You want to add
You want to add
little shadow.
little shadow.
I guess that
I
is
guess
okay.
that is okay.
So in order not to
So in order not
do
to do keep
repeating the same stress,
repeating the
let me
same
just
stress, let me
duplicate
just
this.
duplicate this.
Good.
Good.
Again.
Again,
Then the last
then the
one.
last one.
So now what do we
So
need
now
to
what
do?
do we need to do?
We need to consider
We need
that
to
also.
consider that
What do
also.
we need to
What do
do?
we need to do?
Let me first
Let me
ensure this
first
is
ensure this is
distributed
distributed
horizontally and
horizontally
it is
and it
aligned to
is
the top.
aligned to the top.
Then let me just
Then let
group
me just group
so I can drag
so I can
together.
drag together.
Sure.
Sure.
Then I can ungroup
Then I
it.
can ungroup it.
So now what I want to
So
do
now what I
here
want to
is
do
just
here
simple.
is just
I
simple.
want to add
I want to add
our cost of
our
goods
cost
sold,
of goods sold,
our
our
quantity
quantity sold,
sold, revenue and profit.
revenue
So
and
it means we
profit.
need
So
to
it
create
means we need
another
to
what?
create another what?
Pivot.
Pivot,
Another pivot
another
table.
pivot
So let's
table.
just come
So
here.
let's just come here.
Let's copy this.
Let's copy
Let's
this.
paste it here.
Let's paste it
So
here.
automatically we
So
create another
automatically we've
pivot
created
table.
another
So what
pivot
we
table.
just need
So
to
what
do
we
is
just
just
need to do is just
write exactly.
write
So what we need to
exactly.
do is
So what we
just
need to do is just
come down to the
come
pivot
down to the
table,
pivot table,
then remove
then
all we have
remove
here.
all we have here.
Let's just remove
Let's just
this. Then
remove
change
this.
them
Then
to
change them to
quantity sold,
quantity sold,
cost of goods
cost
sold.
of goods sold.
Okay, so we have
Okay, so we
profit.
have profit.
So let me
So
remove
let me
the
remove
total
the
product.
total product.
We have
We
profit,
have profit,
cost of goods
cost
sold.
of goods sold.
We have
We have
revenue.
revenue.
Do we have any
Do
other
we have
thing?
any other thing?
Cost of goods to
Cost of
revenue.
goods
Then
to
we have
revenue. Then we have
quantity sold.
quantity sold.
We have
We have
quantity sold.
quantity sold.
So what we need to do
So what we
from
need
here,
to do
I
from here,
can
I
rename
can
this
rename this
to
to
quantity sold.
quantity sold.
So how do
So
I rename?
how do I
Just double
rename?
click
Just
on that
double click on that
region. then
region,
remove the
then
sum of
remove the sum
quantity,
of quantity,
then leave it as
then leave it
quantity
as
sold.
quantity sold.
You can also just
You
leave
can
it
also
as
just leave it as
quantity
quantity
sold.
sold.
Then again, I need to
Then again, I
format
need to
this.
format this.
Let's just format
Let's
it
just
all
format it
together.
all together.
Good.
Good.
So we need to
So we need
reference
to
it again. Don't
reference it
forget
again. Don't
to make
forget
things
to make
easier.
things easier. I need to
rename this
rename
revenue
this
also.
revenue also.
Instead of putting
Instead of
revenue
putting
M,
revenue
we just
M,
need our
we just need
revenue
our
name.
revenue name.
Then highlight
Then
everything
highlight
and come
everything
to
and come to
formulas.
formulas.
Then create
Then
from
create from
selection. Again, we
selection.
want to create a
Again, we want
name
to
with
create a
that.
name with that.
So again, so we know
So
we
again, so
have
we know
a
we
name
have
for
a name
profit,
for
a name for
profit, a
cost
name
of goods
for
sold.
cost of goods
We
sold.
have a name for
We have a name
revenue.
for
Then we have
revenue. Then we have a name for
quantity sold.
quantity sold.
We have a name for
We have a
quantity
name
sold.
for quantity sold.
So now
So now
let's begin.
let's begin.
We need to
We need
duplicate
to
one of
duplicate one
these.
of these.
Let's just
Let's
duplicate
just
this
duplicate this
and bring it down.
and bring it down.
So what we need to
So
call
what we need to
this
call this
is
is
becoming. Let's
coming.
confirm
Let's
that.
confirm that.
We have quantity
We have
sold.
quantity sold.
Okay. So let's
Okay. So
reference
let's
that.
reference that.
Quantity sold.
Quantity sold.
Let's duplicate.
Let's
We have
duplicate. We have
revenue.
revenue
Equals
equals
revenue.
revenue.
Duplicate again.
Duplicate again
Equals
equals
again. Here we have
again. Here we have
cost of goods
cost
sold.
of goods sold.
You can also
You can
duplicate
also
again.
duplicate again.
Then the last one
Then the
should
last one
be
should be
profit.
profit.
So now let's
So
just
now let's
ensure
just ensure
they are
they
well
are well
aligned.
aligned.
That is the first thing.
That is the first thing.
So let's do our
So let's do
control
our
key
control key
and ensure they are
and
all
ensure they are
aligned
all
to
aligned
the top.
to the top.
Then we can just bring
Then we
them
can
down
just
a
bring
little
them down a
bit.
little bit.
Again, let's just
Again,
bold
let's just bold
everything.
everything.
Good.
Good.
So now the next thing we
So
need
now
to
the
do
next
is
thing we need to do
bring
is
those
bring
values.
those values. Then
Create
create
we need to create
we need to create
a
a
column chart. We need
column
to create a
chart. We need
column
to create
chart
a column
showing
chart
the
showing
revenue,
the revenue,
the
the
quantity sold
quantity
for
sold
that specific
for that
month.
specific month.
Again, this is not
Again,
showing
this is
fully.
not showing
Let's just
fully. Let's
expand
just
it.
expand it.
Align top.
Align top.
Good.
Good.
I believe we are all
I believe
following.
we are all following.
Are we still
Are we
together?
still together?
Are we still together?
Are we
Are we
still together?
following?
Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So now we have the
So now
quantity
we have
sold,
the
we have the
quantity sold, we
revenue, we
have the
have the cost
revenue, we
of
have
goods
the
sold.
cost of
So
goods
the
sold.
next thing we need
So
to
the
do
next
now
thing
is
we need
just
to do
bring
now
those
is just bring
values
those values
as we have here,
as we
which
have
is
here, which is
bring
bring
each values.
each values.
So how do we
So
bring
how do
that
we
again?
bring
Let's
that
just
again? Let's
duplicate
just
this,
duplicate this,
bring it to the top.
bring it to the top.
Don't forget we
Don't
have
forget
names
we
for
have
each of
names
these
for each
values
of
now.
these values
So
now.
we know we are
So we
bringing
know
what?
we are bringing
Quantity
what?
sold.
Quantity sold.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's
So
duplicate
let's
this
duplicate
also.
this also.
Again, we're also
Again, we are
bringing
also
the name
bringing
for
the
this
name
instead of
for
going
this
back.
instead of going back.
We just bring
Just
revenue.
bring revenue.
Again, let's
Again,
duplicate
let's
this.
duplicate this.
We're also bringing
Also bringing
the name for
the
this,
name
which
for
is
this, which is
cost of
cost of
good sold.
good sold.
Let's duplicate
Let's
this.
duplicate this.
Also, we are
Also, we
bringing
are bringing
profit.
profit.
So
So
now
now
we
we
have
have
profits,
profits,
we
we
have
have
cost of
cost
goods
of goods
sold.
sold.
Again,
Again,
ensure it is
ensure it is
aligned.
aligned.
The
The
alignment
alignment
matters a lot.
matters a lot.
It matters
It
a lot.
matters a lot.
Again, we can
Again, we
align
can
this to the
align
left,
this to the left,
bring this
bring
also,
this also,
align it to the
align it
left.
to the left.
But it depends
But
on your
it depends on
preference.
your
You might
preference.
decide that
You might
okay, let
decide
me
that
work,
okay, let me work.
then after I'm
Then
done
after I'm
working,
done
I'm going to do
working,
the
I'm going to do the
alignment and the
alignment and the
proportion
proportion
or the
or the
distribution.
distribution.
But I love doing
But
it
I love doing
immediately.
it immediately.
Good.
Good.
So let's do
So
the
let's do
formatting.
the formatting.
Let's give this
Let's
a
give
color
this
of
a color of
orange.
orange.
Then let's
Then
increase the
let's
font
increase
size
the
a
font
little
size a
bit.
little bit.
Then bold.
Then bold.
Take note, we are
Take
using
note, we are
14.
using
So
14.
automatically
So
we need to use
automatically we need to
14
use 14
for every
for every
for every of
for
our
every of our
values.
values.
So again we
So
bold.
again we bold.
I guess 14
I
is
guess
too
14 is
much.
too much.
We have some
We
values
have
not
some
showing.
values
So
not
let's
showing.
change this
So
back
let's
to
change this
13.
back to 13.
Then again let's
Then again,
expand
let's
this. I
expand this.
grab
I
some things
grab
which are
some
not
things
showing.
and it's not showing. Sure.
So now we've done
So now
this.
we've done
Before
this.
moving
Before
into
moving
doing
into
other
doing
colors, we
other
have
colors, we have
lighter orange, we
lighter
have
orange, we
green.
have green.
Before moving
Before
into
moving
other
into
colors, we need
other
to work
colors,
on
we need
what?
to work on
We
what?
need to work
We need to work
on the
on the
column chart.
column
So
chart.
for us to create
So
a
for us to
column
create
chart,
a
what
column
we need to
chart,
do
what
again,
we
let
need
me
to do
just
again,
copy
let me
this
just copy this
because this will be our
because this will be
analysis
our
region.
analysis region.
So I'll just keep
So I'll
copying
just
that
keep
same
copying
pivot
that same
instead of going
pivot
back
instead
and
of going back
creating
and
new
creating
pivots.
new pivots.
Then
Then
I don't need
I don't need
revenue. I
revenue.
don't need
I don't
this. I
need
don't
this.
need
I
this.
don't need this.
Let me scroll
Let me
down.
scroll
Do we
down.
have any other
Do we
thing?
have any other thing?
So
No.
the only thing I
So
need
the only
here
thing I need there
is I
is
need to
I
change,
need to
bring in our
change, bring in our
date
date
function.
function,
All our dates
all
in
our date
column.
column.
So let me just try
So
and
let me
locate
just
the
try and
date.
locate the
Yes,
date. Yes,
purchase date.
purchase date.
So now if you click on
So
the
now if you
date
click on the
function,
date
you observe
function,
it's
you
giving
observe
us
it's
in
giving
this
us
format.
in this
So let me
format.
just drag
So
it
let me
to
just drag
row.
it to row.
Coming, I want to remove
Coming,
it
I
from
want to
that
remove it
column.
from that column.
So what we need to do
So what
here
we need
is
to do
we
here
are
is
bringing
we
in
are bringing
months.
in
Take note of
months.
that. So
Take note
let's
of
go
that. So
back.
let's
Let's
go back.
scroll up
Let's scroll up
and grant the
and
purchase
grant the
date
purchase
month to
date
row.
month to row.
Good.
Good.
For now, I don't need
For
this. So
now,
let
I
me
don't
just
need this.
delete
Let me
this.
just delete
So
this.
this is what I want
So
to
this is what I
achieve.
want to achieve.
Again, I don't need the
Again, I
grand
don't need
total
the grand total
in my chart.
in my
So
chart.
let's do
So
some
let's do some
restructuring.
restructuring.
Come down to
Come
pivot
down to
table
pivot table
analysis or
analysis
design.
or
That should be
design.
design,
That should
yes.
be design. Yes.
I don't need this
I don't need
grand
this
total.
grand total.
It's not necessary.
It's not
Again,
necessary. Again,
I don't want
I don't want
subtotal,
subtotal
report layout,
report layout
showing compact
showing
mode.
compact mode.
I only want to see
I
it
only
in
want to see it
tabular
in
mode.
tabular mode.
Good.
Good.
So we have this
So we
now.
have this now.
We have the
We have
purchase
the
date month
purchase
and the
date month
quantity
and
sold
the
that was
quantity
sold
sold that
for
was
that
sold
month.
for that month.
So this is just
So
what we
this is
need
just
to
what we
create
need
our
to
table.
create our
So
table.
let's copy
So
this.
let's copy this.
That is for
That is for
quantity
that's for
sold. So we
quantity
need to do
sold.
the
So
same
we need
thing
to
for
do the same thing
revenue.
for revenue.
So let's uncheck
So let's uncheck
quantity sold
quantity sold
and do for
and do
revenue.
for revenue.
Remove.
Remove.
So we have
So we
revenue.
have revenue.
Again, you can
Again, you
copy
can
this.
copy this.
We'll be creating
We'll be
four.
creating
Take
four.
notes.
Take notes.
You can paste it
You
here,
can paste it
expand
here,
it again.
expand it again.
Also,
Also,
we need to remove
we need to remove
revenue
revenue
and
and
input
input
cost of
cost
good
of
sold.
good sold.
Then lastly,
Then
we need to
lastly, we
do
need to do
for
for
profit.
profit.
Remove, then we
Remove,
need to do for
then we need to do for
profit.
profit.
So let's try and
So
locate
let's try and locate
profit.
profit. Good.
So now we have
So now we
profit,
have
we have cost
profit, we
of goods
have
sold,
cost of goods sold,
then we have
then we have
quantity sold,
quantity
and we have
sold,
revenue.
and we have revenue.
So let me zoom out
So
a
let me
little
zoom
bit
out a
so you
little
can
bit
see
so
my
we can
screen
see
very
my
well.
screen very well.
So the first thing we need
So
to
the
do is
first thing we
create
need to do
a
is create
pivot
a pivot
chart.
chart.
We need to create a
We need to
pivot
create
chart.
a pivot chart.
So this is the
So this is the
clustered column chart
clustered
that we
column
want to
chart that we
create.
want to create.
Just click
Just
OK.
click OK.
Then I need to do some
Then I need to do some
restructuring.
restructuring.
So let's come
So
under
let's come
right
under
click again.
right
After
click
right click,
again.
you can
After
just
right
come
click, you can
to
just come
where we
to
have
where we have
show field
show
list.
field list.
That should be
That should be
pivot chart
pivot
option.
chart option.
Yes,
Yes,
that should be pivot
that should
chart
be pivot chart
options.
options.
The layout and
The
format.
layout and
We
format,
don't need
we don't need.
what are the things. I
What
just
are the
want to
things? I
ensure
just
we
want to
remove
ensure we remove
profit. These
profit,
icons we are
these
showing
icons
here.
we are showing here.
Then again, we don't
Then
need these
again, we don't
names
need these
we
names
have here.
we have here.
There are some things we
There
don't
are
need
some
to
things
show.
we don't need to show.
We only need just
We only need
this
just this
datas, just
datas,
only the
just only
clustered
the
column
clustered
charts.
column
There are two
charts.
ways we
There
can
are
do
two
that
ways we
though.
can do
We
that
can
though.
easily
We
use
can
this
easily use this
pivot table
pivot
option,
table
or
option,
we can
or
just come
we can
here,
just come here,
right click,
right
then
click,
remove.
then remove.
We can just
We can
remove
just
field.
remove field.
Sorry, that should be
Sorry,
hide.
that should be hide. You
You can also right
can
click.
also right click.
Can right click,
Can right
then you can
click,
hide
then you can
field
hide
button.
field
You
button.
can also right
You can
click
also right
this.
click this.
So all we just
So
need
all we
is
just need
just
is just
the column
the
chart.
column chart.
This is all we need.
This is all we need.
Just only the
Just
column
only
chart
the
as
column chart
represented
as
in our
represented
pivot
in our
chart.
pivot chart.
So we know this
So
is
we know this
January,
is
February,
January,
March,
February,
April,
March,
May,
April,
June.
May,
But if
June.
you
But
feel you
if
want to
you
keep
feel
it,
you
you
want to
can
keep
just
it,
leave
you
it.
can just leave it.
But since it's just
But
a
since it's
glance
just a
through of
glance through
whatever we
of
have,
whatever we have,
then again what we need
then
to
again
do, we
what we
need
need
to
to do, we need
expand
to
the
expand the
size. You can see the
size. You
width
can
of
see the
each
width
column
of
is
each column is
tiny. So
tiny.
how do we do
So
that?
how do
We
we do
usually
that?
right
We
click,
usually
just
right
right
click,
click on
just
each
right
of the
click on
plots
each of the
area,
plot area,
then come down to
then
where we
come
have
down to
format
where we have
data
format
series.
data
Under the
series.
format
Under
data
the
series,
format
this
data
gap
series,
width
this
is what
gap
we use
width
in
is what we're using,
expanding and
expanding
reducing.
and reducing.
So if you
So
bring it, if you reduce it,
if you
keep
reduce it, keep
expanding. Take note of
expanding.
that.
Take note of
But
that.
if you
But if
increase,
you
it keep what?
increase, it keep what?
Getting tiny.
Getting tiny.
So this is what we need
So
to
this
do
is
for
what we need to
this
do for
one.
this one.
So after we've
So
done
after
this,
we've
again we
done
need to
this
go.
again, we need
Do
to
we need to
do.
now
Do we
go
need
to
to
the
now
same
go to
process
the
for
same
cost of
process
goods
for
sold?
cost
I
of
will
goods
say
sold?
no.
I will say
What you
no.
need to do is
What
just
you need to do is
duplicate
just
this.
duplicate
Once you
this.
duplicate
Once you
that,
duplicate that,
drag it here.
drag it here.
Then you need to
Then
just
you need
change
to
the
just
chart
change the
area, what
chart
the chart
area,
is
what the
picking.
chart is picking.
So click
So
on it,
click
right
on
click,
it,
then
right
come
click,
to
then come
select
to
data.
select
Under
data.
where we have
Under where
select
we have
data, you
select
will observe
data,
it's
you will
speaking
observe
what?
it's speaking what?
It's speaking
It's speaking
analysis pivot table
analysis pivot
6,
table 6,
right?
right?
It's speaking
It's
analysis
speaking
pivot table
analysis
6,
pivot table 6,
and it's not giving
and
us
it's
the
not giving
option
us the
to
option to
select
upcoming
data
select
area.
data area.
It's not giving us the
It's not
option to
giving us the
choose.
option to
Yes,
choose.
because we are
Yes,
using
because we are
pivot
using
table.
pivot
So
table.
we just need to
So
go
we just
through
need
the
to go
normal
through the normal
process.
process.
So highlight
So
everything
highlight
again,
everything again,
come down to our
come down to
pivot,
our
or let's
pivots,
just make
or
use
let's
of
just make
the
use of
normal
the normal
chart.
chart.
It is
It
recommended
is your
chart.
recommended chart.
So this one,
So
this one will give us
this
the
one will give us the
option to what?
option
To
to what?
just
To
select
just
data
select
area
data
other
area
ways.
for other ways.
Let's hide.
Let's hide.
So let's just hide
Let's
all
just
fill
hide all
buttons
field
to make it
buttons
easier.
to make it easier.
Good.
Good.
We don't need
We
this
don't
for
need
now.
this for
Let's
now.
check the size
Let's
of
check the
this.
size of this.
What's the
What's the
size?
size?
3 by
3
5.
by 5.
So let's make
So
this
let's
3
make
by
this
5.
3 by 5.
Okay, this is
Okay, this is
1 by
1.61 by
2.77.
2.77.
1.61 by
1.61 by
2.77.
2.77.
Good.
Good.
Again, what
Again,
gap
what
width are
gap
we
width
using
are
here?
we
We are
using
using
here? We are using
87 gap
87
width
gap width
with series
with
overlap of
series
minus
overlap of
27. Let's take
-27.
note.
Let's take note.
87 gap
87
width.
gap width.
So let's bring this
So
down.
let's bring this down.
So we don't need
So we
going
don't need going
forward. We don't need to
forward. We
keep
don't
doing
need
the
to
same
keep
thing.
doing the same
We
thing.
just need to
We just
duplicate
need to
this one.
duplicate
After
this one. After
duplicating, bring it here.
duplicating, bring it here.
Let me go to the
Let me
side
go to the side
so we can see how I'm
so
going
you
to
can
do
see
for
how I'm going
this.
to do
So
for
what you
this.
just need to
So what you
do,
just
right
need to
click,
do, right click,
click on
click
select
on
data
select
area.
data area.
Coming.
I mean,
I don't know why it's not
don't
giving
know
me
why
the
it's not
option
giving me
to
the
choose.
option to choose.
And one of the reason
And
for
one of the
that,
reason for
one of the
that,
major
one
reason
of the
for
major
that is
reason for
because
that is
I am
because
using
I
pivot
am using
table.
pivot
But
table.
assuming I'm not
But
using
assuming I'm
pivot
not using
table,
pivot
you
table,
have just
would have
change the
just
selected
changed the
area
selected
from
area
cost
from
of goods sold
cost
to
of goods sold
revenue
to
to make it
revenue to make it
faster
faster
instead
instead
of
of
going
going
through
through
the
the
same
same
process. So
process.
let's just
So let's just
keep doing
keep doing
so you can learn.
so you
I guess
can
as
learn.
I'm
I
keep
guess
doing,
as
you
I'm
can
keep
also
doing,
see
you
it
can
the
also see
same
it
way.
the same way,
And you can repeat
and
it
you
at
can
your
repeat it
end.
at your end.
Where we have
Where
we have
we have
the SAT
the SATs
recommended charts,
recommended
the
charts,
same thing.
the same thing.
Then okay.
Then okay.
Coming.
For me,
Let's do for
let's do
this
for this
at
at
once.
once.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
we have
we
the
have
size of
the size of
one
one
point six
point
one
six
by
one
two
by
point
two
seven
point
seven.
seven seven.
Again,
Again,
1.61 by
1.61 by
2.77.
2.77.
Good.
Good.
So right click on
So
the
right
field
click on
list,
the field
then
list,
hide all
then
field
hide
list,
all field list,
delete this,
delete this,
and also the
and
legend.
also the legend.
We don't need the
We don't need
title
the
also.
title
So
also.
let's just bring
So
this
let's
to the
just bring
side.
this to the side.
Hide all field
Hide all
lists.
field
We
lists.
don't need the
We don't
title.
need the
We
title.
don't need the
We
X
don't need the X
axis label.
axis label.
We don't need the
We don't
Y
need the
axis
Y
label.
axis label.
Also, we don't
Also,
need
we
the
don't need
X
the X
axis
axis
label and
label
the
and the
legend.
legend.
These
These
lines,
lines, we don't need
keep
them
our
to keep
chart
our chart
clean.
clean.
So after
So
we've
after
done that,
we've done that,
the last thing we need
the
to do
last
is
thing we
our
need to do
gap
is our
width.
gap width.
What's our gap
What's our
width?
gap width?
Our gap width should
Our
be
gap width should be
87.
87.
So again, we are
So again,
changing
we are
this to
changing this to
87.
87.
We're also
We are
changing
also
this to
changing this to
87.
87.
So after we've
So
done
after
that,
we've done
all we
that,
just need to
all
do
we
is
just
just
need to do is
remove the
just remove the
outlines.
outlines.
So under
So
fill,
under fill, ensure you are
and
under
click
border
no
and click no
borders.
borders.
No
No
borders.
borders.
No
no
others.
others.
Then
Then
lastly,
lastly,
no
no
other.
other,
No outline.
no outline.
So again,
So again,
let's just couple it
let's just
one
couple it
after the
one
other and
after the
ensure we
other
know the
and
one
ensure
we
we know
need.
the one we need.
So now the first
So
one
now the
is
first one
quantity
is
sold.
quantity
So let's
sold. So
click
let's
cut,
click
control
cut,
X,
control X,
then come to
then
quantity
come to
sold,
quantity
paste it
sold,
here.
paste it here.
You are still coming to do
We're
the
still coming to do the
restructuring.
restructuring.
Again for
Again
revenue,
for revenue,
cut,
cut,
come under
come
dashboard,
under
paste,
dashboard, paste,
just drag it here.
just drag it here.
So we need to
So
undo,
we need to
good,
undo, good,
paste,
paste,
so bring it
so
here.
bring it here.
Also ensure we don't
Also
have the
ensure we don't
months
have the
name.
month name.
So come here,
So
cost
come
of
here,
goods
cost of
sold.
goods sold.
So just
So
cut.
just cut.
Again, whenever you are
Again, whenever
pasting,
you are
ensure you
pasting,
are clicking
ensure
an
you are
empty
clicking an
cell so
empty
it
cell
won't
so it
change
won't
the
change
existing
the
chart.
existing chart
While we copy the
while we
last
copy
one,
the last one.
cut,
Cut,
then paste.
then paste.
So now we need to
So now we
ensure
need
it
to ensure
fits
it
in to the
fits in
size we
to the
have here.
size we have here.
We need to ensure it
We need to
fits in.
ensure it
So
fits
let's
in. So
start with
let's start with
profit. Again, you
profit.
observe that
Again,
there
you
is a
observe that there
background
is a
color
background
which
color
we don't need.
which
So
we don't need.
ensure we
So
have
ensure we
no
have
fill.
no fill.
So let's just
So let's just
reduce, reduce,
reduce,
reduce.
reduce, reduce.
So here we still
So
need to
here
do
we
some
still need to do some
restructuring.
restructuring.
Good.
Good.
Ensure it does not
Ensure it does not
overlap. Good.
overlap. Good.
So now we have
So now we
this.
have this.
Do we have anything
Do we have
different
anything
from what we have
different from
here?
what we have here?
No.
No.
So we have
So
this
we have
again.
this
So what we
again.
just
So
need to do
what we
is
just
just
need to
check
do
the
is just check
size.
the size.
So we have
So we have
0.9 by
0.9 by
1.9. So
1.9.
let's just
So let's
automatically
just
change all
automatically change
size
all size
and remove the
and
fields.
remove the fields.
So it's
So it's
0.9
0.9
by
by
1.9
1.9.
instead of
Instead
reducing
of
manually.
reducing manually,
It's
it's
0.9
0.9
by
by
1.9.
1.9.
So next
So
again we
next
have
again we have
0.9 by
0.9 by
1.9.
1.9.
So now this
So
is
now this
what
is
we've
what
created.
we've created.
So what we need to
So
do is
what we
just
need to do is
ensure we
just
drag
ensure
it,
we drag
remove
it,
the
then remove
fields.
the fuse.
We are still coming
We are still
into
coming
where we are going
into
to
where we are going
ensure
to ensure
it
it
aligns.
aligns,
Where we
where
check the
we check the
alignment of our
alignment
charts.
of our chart.
Um,
Um,
feel,
feel,
no feel.
no feel.
So we need to
So we need
reduce
to
this a
reduce
little
this a
bit
little bit
and expand
and
this.
expand this group.
You need to bring the
You need to
revenue
bring the revenue
backward a little bit.
backward a little
So
bit.
now let's just
So now let's
align
just
to
align
the
to the
bottom.
bottom.
They will be
They
aligning
will
to
be
the
aligning
bottom.
to the bottom.
Shape
Shape
format,
format,
then
then
align bottom.
align bottom. Good.
So after aligning
So after
bottom, we need
aligning
to do
bottom, we
some
need to do
little
some
color
little
formatting.
color formatting.
So under this
So
color
under this
formatting,
color formatting,
again we need to change
again, we
this
need to
color
change this
to
color
an
to an
orange
orange
to
to
ensure it with
ensure
our
it fits in
quantity
with our
sold color.
quantity sold color.
So just click on
So just
that.
click on that.
Ensure you are clicking on
Ensure you are clicking on the column, the column
then
chart,
change the
then
color
change the color
to the
to the
orange.
orange.
You can see this
You can
orange
see
is a
this
little
orange
bit
is a
sharp.
little
So
bit
what do we
sharp.
need to
So what
do?
do we need to
There
do?
is a place
There
where
is a
we have
place where we have
transparency.
transparency.
Again, ensure you are
Again,
clicking on
ensure you
that.
are clicking on that um
Ensure you are clicking on the
ensure you are
column
clicking on the
chart.
column chart.
Then the
Then
transparent, you
the
can just make
transparent,
it
you can
maybe
just make it
60.
maybe 60.
Exactly. So it means
Exactly. So it means we will be using 60 for every of our charts.
we'll be using 60
We'll be
for
using
every of
60
our
for every
charts.
of our charts.
So let's make
So
use of
let's make use of
rain.
rain.
Again, we are using
Again, we are using
60.
60.
So it won't be too
So it won't be
bright.
too bright.
So we are
So
using
we are using
also
also
rain,
rain,
and we are using
and we are using
60.
60.
Good. So let's check.
So let's check.
Do we
Do
have
we
all the
have
same
all the same
size?
size?
Sure.
Sure.
So let's
So
align
let's
all our
align
values
all
to
our
the top.
values to the top.
So now we've
So now
created
we've created
our
our
KPIs.
KPIs.
And now are we
And
sure
now
these
are we
KPIs
sure
are
these
responding?
KPIs
They'll
are
surely
responding? They'll
respond
surely
to,
respond to,
let me zoom out.
let me zoom
They'll
out.
surely
They'll
respond to
surely
slicers.
respond to
So what we
slicers.
need to do is
So what we
just
need
come
to do
under
is just
our
come under our
analysis tab.
analysis tab.
Then let's create
Then
a
let's
slicer.
create a slicer.
Come under the
Come
pivot
under
table
the pivot
analysis.
table
Then create.
analysis. Then create.
Just click on inside
Just click on
slicer.
inside
So
slicer.
let's
So
insert
let's
our
insert
month
our
slicer.
month slicer.
Then also
Then also let's create
our
our
name
product
slicer.
name slicer.
Coming
Coming
product
product
name
product
slicer.
name slicer.
Then our
Then
month
our
name.
month name.
Good. So let me just bring
So
the
let me just
two
bring the
to our
two
chat
to
area.
our chat area. Now you observe it's only one of our data that is responding to
whatever I'm doing right
whatever I'm
here.
doing right here.
Why? Why is that
Why?
happening?
Why is that
It's
happening?
because there is no
It's because there is
connection
no
between
connection
all
between
what we have
all
there
what we
and
have
what
there and
and
what
this
and this
slicer. So what
slicer.
we need to do
So
is
what we
just
need to do is
right click
just
on it,
right
then come
click
to
on it, then
report
come to
connection.
report
So you
connection.
can see all
So you
our
can see all
analysis
our
here.
analysis
So
here
what we
now.
need to do is
So what
just
we need to do is just
check them, check
check them, check
everything.
everything,
Ensure you check
ensure you check
everything.
everything.
So once you click
So
on that
once you click
slicer,
on that
all our
slicer,
pivot
all our
table are
pivot table
reacting
are
to that
reacting
slicer.
to that slicer.
So now we've created
So now we've
connection now.
created
So
connection
let's
now. So
click
let's
on December.
click
You
on
see all our
December. You
data
see
are
all our
now
data are now
reacting to what?
reacting to what?
December.
December.
Are we together?
Are we
You see all
together?
our data
You
are
see all
now
our data
reacting
are
to
now
what? To
reacting to what?
December.
To
So
December.
let's close
So
that.
let's close that.
You can also check
You
based
can
on
also check
product
based on
name.
product name.
This product name
This
also
product name
might not
also
all our
might
data
not
might
all our
not
data
react to
might
that,
not
but
react
we
to
need to
that,
create
but we need
that
to
what?
create that
That
what? That
relationship first.
relationship first.
So let's ensure we
So let's
create the
ensure we create the
relationship,
relationship,
then click
then
OK.
click
So if
OK.
I click
So if
product
I
one,
click product one,
you should be able to
you
see.
should be able to see.
You can see
You can see
our data are
our data
reacting
are
to that.
reacting to that.
So we've
So
created
we've
that.
created that.
Wow. time
Wow,
is
our
fast
time
spent.
is fast spent.
This is
This
twelve
is
twenty one. So let
12:21.
me just
So
delete
let me just
this.
delete this.
We are still coming
We
back
are
to
still
that.
coming back to that.
Since our data
Since
are
our data
reacting
are
to the
reacting to the
slicer,
slicer, I
I
guess we
guess
are
we are
at least
at least
partially good to
partially good
go.
to go. We are partially
We are
good to go.
partially good to go. Um,
What I would just need
what
us
I
to
would
do
just need
now,
us to do now,
let's try and
let's
create
try and create
our yearly
our
profit
yearly profit
analysis.
analysis.
I guess we'll be
I
stopping
guess
there
we'll be
for
stopping there
today
for
because
today
we are meant to
because
stop
we
by
are meant
one
to stop
o'clock.
by 1 o'clock.
That's our agreed
That's
time.
our agreed
So
time.
let's try and
So
create
let's
our
try and create
yearly
our
profit
yearly profit
analysis.
analysis.
Let's try and create our
Let's try
yearly
and create our
profit
yearly profit
analysis.
analysis.
So let's go
So
back and
let's go back and
create
create that
yearly profit
yearly profit
analysis.
analysis.
So what do we need
So
to
what
do?
do we need to do?
We need to create
We
that
need to create
area
that
first.
area
So
first.
let's zoom out.
So let's zoom out.
Then
Then
click on this
click on
object,
this object,
duplicate it, bring
duplicate
it
it,
down.
bring it down.
Then let's just
Then
make
let's
it a
just
little
make
bit
it a little
longer
bit longer
and ensure it's
and
fitting.
ensure it's fitting.
Good.
Good.
So we name this
So we
our
name
yearly
this our yearly
profit.
profit.
The field,
The
let's just
fill,
make
let's
it a
just make
little
it a
bit
little
white.
bit white.
Good.
Good.
So we call this
So
our
we
yearly
call this our
profit. So
yearly
let's
profit.
duplicate
So let's
this text
duplicate this
box.
text box.
Let's zoom in a little
Let's zoom in a
bit.
little bit.
So we are going to
So
call
we are going
this
to call this
yearly
yearly
profit.
profit.
That's our yearly
That's
profit
our yearly profit
analysis.
analysis.
Then what can we
Then
do? We
what
need to
can we
add a
do? We need
naira
to add a
sign, right?
naira sign, right?
So to add a
So
naira
to add a
sign,
naira
all you
sign,
need to do is
all you
just
need to
come
do is
to
just come
insert.
to
Under the
insert.
insert,
Under the
insert symbol.
insert symbol.
So come on that
So
symbol,
come
you
on
should be
that
able to
symbol,
see
you
your
should be able to
local
see your
currency.
local currency.
So
So
stroll,
scroll,
stroll.
scroll, scroll.
Then we have the
Then
naira
we have
sign.
the naira sign.
Just to tell them
Just
we
to
are
tell
dealing
them
with
we are dealing
naira.
with naira.
Then we need to bring
Then
in
we need to
our
bring in
icon. So
our
that will take
icon.
us
So that
back
will take
to
us back to
our icon
our
Excel
icon
sheet.
Excel sheet.
Take note.
Take
I
note.
said the reason why I
I said
just
the reason why
give
I
us
just give us this
this
icon
icon
Excel
Excel
sheet
sheet
is
is just
just
to
to
simplify
simplify
the
the
process.
process.
That does not
That
mean
does
you
not
can't
mean
just
you
go
can't just
yourself
go yourself
and
and download the
from your
icon
end.
from your
Take note.
end.
Take note of that.
Take note of
The
that.
icon we
The
have here
icon
is
we
a
have here is
calendar or a
a
calendar
calendar
icon.
icon.
So you can
So you
also
can
go
also go
if you don't
if
want
you
to
don't
use
want to
that
use that
icon sheet.
icon sheet.
You can
You
easily
can
just
easily
come
just
down to
come down to
insert.
insert.
Under
Under
insert, come to
insert, come to
illustration. You
illustration.
see
You
the
see the
icon
icon
location.
location.
So under
So
the
under the
icon
icon
object,
object,
just wait a
just wait a
little.
little bit.
But this
But this
requires
requires
data.
data.
It means your
It means
PC
your
must be
PC must be
connected to the
connected to the
data
data
to give
to
you
give you
access to
access to
series of
series of
icon.
icon.
Choose the
But you
one you
choose the
know.
one you
It's
know. It's
fitting.
fitting.
You don't
You
just
don't
choose
just choose
anyhow. You
anyhow.
don't just
You don't
choose
just choose
anyhow.
anyhow.
You choose the
You
best
choose the best
appropriate one that
appropriate one
suits
that suits
that thing you
that
want to
theme you
depict.
want to
That
depict,
suits that
that suits
analysis
that
you want to
analysis you
depict.
want to depict.
So we can just
So we
start.
can just
We can
start.
say we
We
have
can say we have
this, we have
this,
this,
we
we
have
have that.
this, we have that.
So what we need to
So
do,
what we need to
we
do,
can also use
can
this.
also use
But
this.
since I'm
But
working with
since
the
I'm working
icon
with
I've
the
sent,
icon I've
so I
sent,
just need to
so I
come
just
right
need to
here,
come right here,
copy this,
copy this,
then bring it.
then bring it.
Then don't forget I
Then don't
made
forget,
mention
I
of
made
that last
mention
week
of
that
that last week that
this icon gave
this
us the
icon gave
room
us
to
the
change
room to
colors.
change
We can
colors.
decide to
We
change
can
this
decide to
color from
change this
gray.
color from gray.
We can decide to
We
change
can
it to
decide to
maybe
change it to maybe
orange, red,
orange,
whatever you
red,
feel
whatever
fitting
you
for your
feel fitting for your
analysis. It's
analysis.
based on your
It's based on
preference.
your preference.
So now the next thing
So
we
now
need
the
to do,
next
we
thing
need
we
to
need to do,
create
we
a
need to create
dotted
a
circle.
dotted circle.
You need to create a
You need to
dotted
create a
circle.
dotted
So
circle.
to create that
So to
dotted
create that
circle,
dotted circle, what we need to do is
you need to come
we need to
down
come
to
down to
analysis. Under the
analysis. Under
analysis,
the
under this
analysis,
cell.
under this cell,
So let's come
so
to where
let's
we
come
have
to where we have a
symbol.
symbol.
Then
Then
search for
search for
dotted
dotted
symbol.
dotted symbol.
D.
D.
Try and look for
Try and look
dotted
for dotted
symbol.
symbol. dotted circle. Again, just try and check. Dotted circle.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the
So
dotted
this is the
circle.
dotted circle.
So once you see the
So
dotted
once you see
circle,
the
click
dotted
on it,
circle, click
insert,
on it, insert,
then leave it.
then leave it.
Then what you need to do
Then what
is
you
you
need to
can
do
see it's
is
not
you
really
can
that
see it's not really that
obvious. Let's
obvious.
just do some
Let's
little
just do some little
formatting, bold,
formatting, bold,
then change the font
then
size
change
to
the font size to
15 to make it
15
more
to make it
pronounced.
more pronounced.
Then let's come down
Then
here.
let's come down here.
Again, to make it
Again, to
simple,
make it
let's just
simple,
give it a
let's
name.
just give it a
Call
name.
it
Call it
dotted
dotted
circle.
circle.
Highlight the two,
Highlight the two,
then come to where we
then come
usually
to
give
where
it
we
name.
usually give it name.
Create
Create
from selection,
from selection.
so we know
So
whenever we
we
are
know whenever
referencing
we are
dotted
referencing
circle,
dotted
that's what we
circle,
mean.
that's what we mean.
So let's just bring
So
it
let's
here.
just bring it here.
So let's
So let's
delete,
delete,
then
then
reference the
reference
circle.
the circle.
So we have
So we
dotted
have dotted
circle.
circle.
Good.
Good.
You can see it's as
You
simple
can see
as
it's as
that.
simple as that.
Again, let's
Again,
duplicate.
let's
We need to
duplicate. We
duplicate
need
it
to
in
duplicate
four
it in
fold
four
because
fold
we are
because
dealing with
we
four
are dealing with
years.
4 years.
We are dealing with
We are dealing with
again, let's check
again,
that.
let's check that.
Let's
Let's
confirm that. Let
confirm
me just
that. Let me just
copy
copy uh
revenue.
revenue.
Let me copy
Let me
revenue
copy revenue
to be sure.
to be sure.
Paste it here.
Paste it
But
here.
H0
But
and
H0I.
then we want to
Then
remove
we
our
want to
year.
remove our year.
Then change it to
Then change it to
we want to remove the
we want
month
to remove
name.
the month
Then
name.
change it
Then
to
change it to
purchase date
purchase date
year.
year.
Good.
Good.
So we are dealing with
So
three
we are dealing
years.
with 3 years.
So which means we
So
need to
which means we
just
need to just
ensure
ensure
we have three
we have
dotted
three dotted
circles.
circles. Let
Duplicate
me
also.
duplicate also.
So all what we need to
So all
do,
what we need
let's
to do,
highlight
let's highlight
one,
1,
two,
2,
three.
3.
Then under
Then
shape,
under shape,
we align
we align
center.
center.
Then also
Then
we
also we
distribute
distribute
vertical.
vertical. Good.
Then we need to
Then
create
we need to create
the year name
the
for
year
those
name
dotted
for those
circle.
dotted circle.
And
And do
let me bring this
let me
down
bring
a
this
little
down a
bit.
little bit.
So
So
reference
reference
the year name.
the year name.
Let's duplicate.
Let's duplicate.
So instead of going
So
back
instead
again,
of
we
going
can
back
just
again, we
change
can
the
just
cell
change
name
the
since
cell
we know
name
the
since
cell
we know the
follows
cell
each other.
follows each other.
So we can change this
So
to
we can change this
21.
to 21.
Let's duplicate
Let's
this again.
duplicate this
Change this to
again. Change this to
22.
22.
How do I know?
How do
This
I
is
know?
cell
This is
20,
cell 20,
E21,
E21,
E20,
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 E21,
E21,
E22.
E22.
So once we've done
So
that,
once
we
we've
just need
done
to
that,
do
we
some
just need to do
formatting.
some formatting
By
by
bolding,
bolding.
we bold,
We bold,
then change the font
then
size
change the
to
font size to
13.
13.
Then let's duplicate
Then let's
again. Now we need
duplicate
to bring
again.
the
Now we need to bring
values.
the values.
We need to bring the
We need to bring
values.
the values.
So for the
So
values, we
for the
don't need to
values,
go
we don't need to
anywhere.
go
We just
anywhere.
need
We just need
to
to
um
um
coming
I mean
for the
for the
values
values
we just
we
need to
just need
reference.
to
Let's not
reference. Let's not
go through the
going
naming
go through the
process
naming process
because we still need to do
because we
some
still need to do some
analysis.
analysis. Okay.
I guess we have
I
no
guess we
option.
have no option.
Uh,
We need to do some further
Let me
analysis.
create
Let me
space
create
here using
space
my
here using my
control space,
control
then
space,
control
then
shift
control shift
plus plus.
plus.
So now let's do
So
some
now
further
let's do some further
analysis.
analysis.
Again, let's check
Again,
something
let's
right
check
here.
something
We are
right
dealing
here.
with
We are dealing with yeah.
oh sorry, that
Oh,
is yearly
sorry, that is
profit,
yearly
no
profit,
revenue.
no revenue.
Still good. We just need
Still
to
good. We just
change
need to
what we
change
have here
what we have here
to profit.
to profit.
So
So
let's drop another
let's drop
profit
another
again.
profit again.
Let's drop
I mean,
another
let's drop
profit.
another profit.
Now this
Now,
profit we
this
make it
profit, we make it
percentage.
percentage.
How do we do that?
How do we do that?
Highlight,
Highlight,
then come to show
then come to
values
show
as you
values
can see.
as you can
So
see.
you can see
So you can
percentage
see
of grand
percentage of
total,
grand
percentage of
total,
column
percentage of
total.
column
So here
total.
we just
So
need to
here we
show
just
it
need
as
to show it as
percentage of grand
percentage of
total.
grand total.
So after making that
So after
percentage
making
of
that
grand
percentage
total,
of grand
because we
total,
want to
because
create
we want to create
the difference
the
between
difference
what
between
the
what the
firm was able to make
firm
for
was
that
able to
year
make for that year
and the leftover
and
that
the
was
leftover
unable
that
to be
was
achieved.
unable to be
So how
achieved.
can we do
So
that?
how can we
So
do
let's
that?
say we
So
have
let's say we have
percentage.
percentage.
Let's
I'm
say we
coming.
have
Let's say we have percentage.
or let's say we have
Or let's say
values.
we
Let me
have
start with
values. Let me
values.
start with values.
Profit
Profit
values
values
for easy
for
referencing.
easy referencing.
So we have
So we
equals
have
to this.
equals to this.
Fill it down.
Fill it down.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Also we have
Also, we
equals to
have
this.
equals to
So
this.
let's just
So
copy the
let's just
format.
copy the
Control
format.
C,
Control
then
C.
highlight
Then
everything and
highlight
press
everything and press
Alt E
Alt
S, then paste it
ES.
as
Then paste
format.
it as format.
So once you've done
So
that,
once we've done that,
let's move to
let's move to
percentage. Again, we need
percentage.
to
Again,
reference
we need
that
to reference that
percentage. So
percentage.
let's call this
So let's go with this
percentage.
percentage, right?
Under the percentage,
Under
we
the
need to just
percentage, we need to
reference
just
this,
reference
bring it
this,
down,
bring it down.
again copy
Again,
the
copy
formats
the
and paste
formats
it.
and paste it.
Um,
Uh,
sorry,
sorry,
sorry.
sorry.
So after we do
So
that,
after we
so
do
we
that,
want to get
so we want to get
remaining. So
remaining. Let's call
remaining
this remaining
percent.
percent.
So how can we
So how
get
can we
that? So we
get
can do
that? So we can
one
do
minus
one
this,
minus this,
then fill this down.
then fill this down.
So the
So
remaining
the
that
remaining
was on it
that was
able to
on
be
it able to
achieved
be achieved
comparing to the ground
comparing to the
total
ground
is what we
total
have here.
is what we have
So
here.
what we need to do
So
with
what we
this
need
is
to
that
do
we
with
can
this is
use
that we can
this
use
to get
this to
our,
get our,
here we have
here we have
a sheet
a
showing
sheet
us
showing us
profit
profit
uh, that
uh
was achieved
that was
and
achieved
the remaining
and
that
the
was not
remaining
achieved
that was
compared
not
to the
achieved
grand
compared to
total.
the grand total.
So what we need to
So
do
what
from
we
here
need to
is
do from
very
here is
simple.
very simple.
Just align these
Just
two
align
together,
these two
then you
together, then
insert
you
a
insert
donut
a
chart.
donut chart.
And also don't
And
forget,
also don't
there are
forget,
ways we
there
usually
are ways we
control
usually
this size
control this
using our
size
what
using
gap
our what
width
gap
or
width
donut hole
or
size.
donut hole
We
size.
use gap
We use
width
gap
for
width
column chart,
for
but
column chart,
for
but
donut
for
we
donuts
use
we use
hole size.
hole
So the
size.
more
So
you
the more
bring
you
it back,
bring
the
it
more
back,
it
the more
expands.
it
The more you
expand.
take it to the
The more you
front,
take it
the
to the
more it
front, the more it what
gets tinier.
gets tinier.
So let's just try
So
and
let's just
do
try and
that.
do that.
Get it a little
Get
bit
it a little
tinier.
bit tinier.
Then we do the
Then we do the
formatting later.
formatting later.
For me,
For me,
bring it down.
bring it down.
So before we
So
continue
before we
with the rest,
continue with the
let's
rest,
just
let's
do
just do
our value.
our value.
Let's reference our
Let's reference
values.
our values.
We have profit
We have
value
profit
for
value for
2019. We
2019.
have
We have
profit value
profit value
for
for
2020.
2020.
Then also we have
And also
profit
we have
value.
profit value for
We have profit value for 2021. Sorry. That was an error for my end. So we have profit value for 2021. So highlight everything all together. We are using 30 font size, then we are bolding the value. Good. Then in order to create differences, let's just make those color a gray color. But to be just sorry, not fill color, that should be text color. So we are using just a lighter blue. So we have this. So the next thing we need to do is just create our circle that is telling us what was what we achieved compared to the rest, the grand total for that year. What we were able to achieve compared to the grand total for that year. So we've done this for 2019. So again, let's duplicate. We need to do that again for what? 20. So here again, we just need to right click, select data. So instead of using, do you have anyone with any question? Okay, thank you. Thank you. So can someone just tell me where my network went off?
think we are at yearly profit.
Okay, okay, thank you. So let me just start from that yearly profit and try to look at what we can do.
Create a donut something.
Okay, trying to creating when I was trying to create a donut chart, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, exactly.
okay, no problem. I'll surely do that now. Thank you. So Idris Ramat, please, your mic is unmuted. Can you just mute? So can we all see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I believe everyone can
I
see my
believe
screen,
everyone
right?
can see my screen, right?
Yes.
So now you said when I
So
was
now you
creating
said when
this
I was
second donut
creating this
chart or when
second
I
donor
created
chart
this
or when I
first one,
created
which
this
of the
first
two?
one, which of the two?
First one.
The first one.
The first one. Okay.
So now let me
So
create
now
the
let me
first
create the
donut chart
first
again.
donut chart
So
again.
all I
So
do
all
is
I
just,
all I do is
I'm not
just,
using the pivot
I'm
table
not
now. I've
using the pivot
extracted
table
all my
now. I've
necessary data
extracted
from
all
the
my
pivot
necessary
table.
data from the
But all
pivot
these
table.
data
But
that I've
all these
extracted
data
here
that
is
I've
still being
extracted here is
influenced by
still
this
being
pivot table.
influenced by
So
this
it means if
pivot
there's
table.
any changes
So
in
it
this
means if there's
pivot
any
table,
changes
it's
in
going
this
to affect
pivot
whatever I
table,
have
it's
here.
going to affect whatever
So
I
now
have here.
this is what I want
So
to use
now
to
this
create
is
my
what I want to
pivot
use to
table.
create
So
my
I
pivot
highlight the
table. So I
percentage,
highlight the percentage,
which is the percentage
which
of
is the
running
percentage of
total.
running
Then the
total.
remaining one
Then
that
the
was unable
remaining
to
one
be
that was
achieved
unable to
compared
be
to the
achieved compared to
running
the
total.
running
Then I bring
total,
it
then I
to
bring it
insert
to
tab. Under
insert
the
tab.
insert tab,
Under the insert
we
tab,
have
we have
recommended charts.
recommended charts.
You can just
You can
come down
just
to all
come down
charts,
to
then
all
click
charts, then
compile,
click
you click donut.
compile, you click
Or to
donut.
make it
Or
simple,
to make it simple,
just come down here,
just come down here,
then click
then
donut.
click
Then I
donut.
said
Then I said
all what you need to do
all
from
what you
here
need
is
to do
just
from here is just
click on the
click on the
donut
donuts
chart, then
chart,
reduce
then
or
reduce
expand
or expand
the
the
size or
size
donut hole
or
size
donut hole size
to ensure it fits
to
into the
ensure it
appropriate
fits into
size
the
you
appropriate
want.
size you want.
So after you've
So
done
after
that
you've done that
a little
a
bit,
little bit,
then you can just
then you can just
reduce. That is
reduce.
for the first
That is
one.
for the first one.
Again, we don't need this
Again,
chart
we don't need this
title.
chart
We don't need this
title. We don't need this
label also,
label also,
the legend also.
the legend also.
So I said
So I
when
said,
we've done this,
when we've done this,
instead of going through the
instead
same
of going
process
through
of
the same
doing it,
process
when we
of doing
wanted
it,
to create
when we
our
wanted to
column
create
chart, we
our
were going
column
through the
chart,
same
we are going
process of
through the same
creating
process of
again.
creating
The reason
again. The
because we are
reason
using
because we
pivot
are
table,
using pivot
but since
table.
we are using
But
just
since
a
we are using
normal
just a
cell,
normal
all we
cell,
need to do here
all
is
we need
just
to do here is
duplicate.
just
Once you
duplicate. Once
duplicate,
you duplicate,
drag it to the
drag
side,
it to the
then
side,
click
then
and right click
click
and click
and
on
right click and
select
click on
data. Under
select
the
data.
select data,
Under the select
reach
data,
this
this
chart
this
data
chart
range.
data range.
All you need to do is just
All you
change
need to
that
do is
range
just
from
change that range
the
from
first one, which is
the first one,
2019,
which
to
is
the second
2019,
one.
to the second one.
So after you've done that,
So after you've done
you
that,
will observe there is a
you will
changes
observe there
now
is a
in
changes
the
now
data
in the
structure. This is
data
telling us
structure.
what
This is telling us
45,
what 45,
54. If you over,
54.
you should be
If
able to
you
see
over,
that.
you should be able to
So
see
you can
that.
see we have
So you can see we have
45.01, we're having what?
45.01. We're having what?
59.99. The same
59.99.
thing goes to what
The
we
same
have
thing
here.
goes to what we have here.
So again, for you to
So
do the last
again,
one, you
for you
just
to do the
also
last one,
duplicate.
just also
So once you
duplicate. So
duplicate,
once you
just drag it to
duplicate,
the
just
side.
drag it to the side.
Again, right click
Again,
again,
right click
select
again,
data,
select data,
change the chart
change the
data
chart
range.
data range.
You need to change that.
You need to change that.
So once you've changed
So
that,
once you've changed
all you
that,
need to do is just
all you
click
need to do
OK.
is just click
So now
OK.
we have our
So
three
now we have
donuts
our
chart.
three
This is for
donuts chart. This
2019,
for
take note.
2019, take
This is for
note. This for
2020, and this is
2020,
for
and this is for
2021.
2021.
So all I will
So
be able
all I
to do
will
now is
be
just
able to
cut
do now is just cut,
and paste it here.
then paste it
So
here.
the remaining
So the
thing
remaining
left now is
thing
just doing
left
the
now is just doing
restructuring
the
and ensure
restructuring
it
and
fits in
ensure
with
it
this
fits in with
location.
this
So
location.
all what we need to
So
do is
all
just
what we need to do
resizing.
is
So
just
firstly,
resizing. So
ensure you save
firstly,
your job
ensure you
by
save
pressing
your job
Ctrl
by
X.
pressing Ctrl X.
Again,
Again,
let's not forget
let's not
that
forget that
this is
this is
2019, this is
2019, this
2020,
is
and this is
2020, and this
2021.
is 2021.
Wow, our time is fast spent.
Wow,
Today is
our time is fast
12:53.
spent. Today is
Again, I'm really sorry for the
12:53.
network
Again, I'm really
glitch
sorry
the
for
other
the
time.
network
Those are
glitch
part
the
of
other time. You know that those are part of
challenge I don't have power over.
challenge I don't
I can
have
only try to create
power over.
preventive measures,
I
but
can
I
only
don't
try
have
to
power
create
over it.
preventive
So
measures,
since
but
our
I don't
time
have
have
power
fast
over
spent,
it.
do we
So
have
since our time
anyone
are
who have
fast
any
spent,
question
do we have
regarding what
anyone
we've
who
been
have
doing
any
so far,
question regarding what
or
we've
you've
been doing
tried
so far?
using one of
Or
the
you
things I've
tried
been doing and
using
it's
one
not
of the things
working
I've been doing and it's not
as
working
expected at your end?
as
Kindly use the chat
expected at
box
your
or
hand?
unmute
Kindly
your
use
mic
the
to
chat
ask.
box or unmute your mic to ask.
Do we have anyone with any question?
Do we have anyone with any question?
It's 12:54. I guess let's just use the next 5 minutes to ask question.
It is 12:54. I guess
If you
let's
feel you
just
have
use
any
the
other
next five
question
minutes
aside
to
from
ask
maybe
question. If you
the
feel you have
chat
any
box
other
I've been
question
building,
aside
maybe you are
from
working
maybe
with your Excel
the
sheet at
chat
home
box
and you
I've been
find out
building,
you are
maybe
doing
you are
some
working with
things,
your
it's not
Excel
working
sheet
as
at home and you
expected.
find out you are doing
So you
some
can use the
things,
chat
it's not working
box
as expected.
to ask
So you can use the
questions.
chat
while
box
we resolve it
to ask
together.
that question while we resolve
So
it
we have just
together.
5 minutes for
So we
questioning and
have just
answering
5 minutes for questioning and answering
before we bring the class to an end.
before we bring the class to an end.
can unmute your mic
Okay,
and talk.
so you can unmute your mic and talk.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for the wonderful class. Uh, I would like to ask, I'm very sorry because I joined the class very late,
Okay.
maybe in the middle.
Okay,
So, and purpose of joining this class is because of this data analysis class. So,
Okay.
I missed
okay,
the day one class. So, this is my second class.
okay,
When I'm seeing your screen now, I'm trying to be, it's confusing me somehow because of the, so I want to ask which version are you actually using? Because I know you are using Mac this thing. So I don't know which version of the Excel are you using, or all these
What happened is that
What happened is that
I'm not using Mac
I'm
for my
not
end. I'm
using
using
Mac from my end.
Windows
I'm using
operating system.
Windows
I'm
operating
running
system, or I'm running
Windows.
Windows.
For me, so you can see.
For me, so you can see,
I'm running
I'm
Windows
running
11
Windows
Enterprise
11 Enterprise
at the moment. But the
at
version
the
of
moment. But the
version of
version of
Microsoft Office I'm running
Microsoft Office
is
I'm
Microsoft
running
Office
is
365,
Microsoft Office 365,
and it's a version of 2019 plus.
and it's a version of 2019
But last
plus.
week
okay,
in our video
But
I
last week
explained, you can just check last week
in
video.
our video,
I
I
made it simple
explained. You
that
can just
I
check last
understand the
week
fact
video.
that some might be
I made it
running a
simple that
lower
I
version of
understand the
Excel,
fact that some
and
might
that
be
will
running
surely
a lower version of
um,
Excel, and that will
give a
surely
very huge
um
limitation.
give a
Because
very
if you are
huge
running a version
limitation,
of
because if you are
Office
running a
of
version of
2007,
Office of 2007,
2010,
2010,
2013, those are older
2013,
versions,
those
and
are older
all
versions,
features
and
and of
all
things I'm
features
doing right
and
here
of
you
things
won't
I'm
have
doing
access
right
to
here, you won't
at
have
all.
access to it at
I can give you
all.
that guarantee.
I can give you that
The
guarantee.
even
The
partially
even
acceptable
partially
version of
acceptable
Microsoft
version
Office
of
Suite is
Microsoft Office Suite
2016
is
upward. But
2016
for us
upward.
to be
But
in line,
for us to
because I
be
am
in
using
line,
Microsoft
because
Office
I am using
365,
Microsoft Office
it is
365, it
advisable
is
you use
advisable you
Microsoft
use
Office
Microsoft Office
2021. And I said one
2021.
of the
And
best
I said one of
sites
the
you can
best
easily go to to
sites you can
download it
easily
is
go to download it is get
into PC. You
into
can check last week
PC. You
class.
can check last week class.
I went to the site,
I
I
went to
explained
the
further
site. I
how you can
explained
just
further how
download,
you can just
and
download,
the site has
and
made it more
the site
easier
has
for you
make it
just to
more
what
easier for you just to
they have
what
made it more
they have
easier
made
just
it
for
more
you
easier just
to
for
know
you
how to
to
download
know
and
how to
also crack
download
your
and also
files. So it won't
crack
be
your
asking
file.
for
So it won't be asking
product
for
activation
product
key
activation key
stuffs.
stuffs.
exactly. Get into PC.
Yes, yes. So
Yes,
there's a
yes.
search
So
button. You
there's a
can just
search
watch
button.
last
You
week
can just
class
watch
on
last
our
week class.
YouTube channel.
It's on our YouTube channel.
Watch last week
Watch
class.
that
I
last week
explained it right
class.
there.
I explained it right there.
Okay, no problem,
So
sir.
Okay. So have I been able to answer your question?
Obviously, yes. Thank you.
Okay.
So do we have anybody
So
who
do
have
we
any
have
other
anybody who
question?
have any other
We have
question?
just two
We
minutes
have
to
just
one
two
o'clock
minutes to 1 o'clock
from my hand.
from my hand.
Do we have anybody who
Do
have
we
any
have
other
anybody who have
question?
any other question?
Anyone?
Anyone?
Okay. So I will
Okay.
say in the
So I will
absence
say
of
in the
no
absence
any
of
other
no
question,
any other question,
take this from
take
me.
this
There's
from
no
me.
organization you
There's
will
no
get to
organization you will
today.
get
At
to
least
today, at
if
least
you tend to
if
climb the
you
ladder of
tend to climb the
senior
ladder of
roles, it will surely
senior
require
roles.
you
It will
you
surely
using
require
Excel.
you
It's
using
whatever we
Excel.
teach here
Yes,
might not
whatever
be
we
a
teach
paid
here
version,
might not
but
be a
trust
paid
me,
version,
all
but
this
trust me,
little
all
knowledge,
this
it's
little
never only
knowledge,
little knowledge
it's
though,
never a
but
little
all this
knowledge though,
knowledge goes
but
a
all
long
this
way
knowledge
in
goes a
wherever you
long way
find
in
yourself.
wherever you find
Wherever you
yourself.
find yourself,
Wherever you
you
find
might find
yourself.
yourself in the
You
administrative
might
role.
find yourself
Trust
in
me,
the
the
administrative role.
administrative role
Trust
also
me. The
required
administrative
collection of
role also
data.
required collection
Now
of data.
all organizations are
Now all organizations
moving
are
from the era of
moving
manual
from the area
methods to
of
the
manual
automated method,
method to the
which required
automated
you
method,
still
which
using what?
required you still using what?
Um, spreadsheet.
Um,
Let me
spreadsheet.
not even limit it to
Let me
Excel.
not
You might
even
not be using
limit it to
Microsoft
Excel.
Excel. You
You
might be
might not be
using
using
Google
Microsoft Excel. You might be using
Google Sheet. So it still
Google
brings it down
Sheet.
to what?
So it still brings it
Spreadsheet.
down to what?
You
Spreadsheet.
understand? So just
You
take whatever
understand?
we
So
do
just take
here,
whatever
take
we
it
do
serious,
here,
and
take
as
it
you take it
serious,
serious, it will
and as you
surely be
take it
useful
serious,
for
it will
you.
surely be useful for
So
you.
in absence of
So,
any other
in absence of
question,
any
I
other
would like to call
question,
it a
I would
day.
like to call it a
So
day.
goodbye everybody.
So, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, sir. Thank you very much.